What's good, everybody? This is Ryan Johnson with MoneyBass. Bear with me. I have to get in here and get everything set up. Oh man, you guys know how I do. Always running in here at the last minute trying to get things set up. What is going on, everybody? This is a new day of the week, a Saturday. I guess you guys aren't really used to the Saturdays. I guess I'm not either. But hey, we're going to get into it and have a little bit of fun with it tonight. I know you guys have seen the title of tonight's live stream. And also, you've seen that thumbnail and like, hey, what is going on with that? What is this going to be about? What are we going to be talking about tonight? But let's just have some fun with it, guys. I hopefully we have some people in here that'll be on kind of both sides of the opinions and thoughts of tonight to make it kind of interesting. That's what I'm hoping for. And before we get into it tonight, guys, I want you to take a look at the poll that is in the description. I mean, in the comment section. The question of the evening is: do you feel live imaging should be allowed in recreational fishing? May mix it in with a little bit of tournament fishing, but basically overall, what are your thoughts on live imaging? Do you think it should be used? Then we're keeping it simple. We're gonna either go with yes, you're fine with it, or no, you need to get rid of it. It is the devil, it's a demon. We have to get rid of that live imaging. How do you guys feel about it? Okay. Hold on a second. So CT is saying that the poll is blank. Are you guys able to see the poll? Well, actually, yeah, I see some people in there getting active in the poll. So take a look in there again, CT, and see if it has updated, because I see some people in there saying that they can see that poll. And yeah, so I see there's I see we have kind of a mixture in here tonight, but want to give a big shout out to everybody for tuning in tonight. Really, really appreciate you coming and checking out the channel, guys, checking out the live stream. We have been having a kind of an uptick in numbers. I mean, we just recently received that special shout out from the man himself, Randy Blaukat. Oh yeah, he gave us a quick shout out. I'll play a quick clip from that in just a second, guys. But I see you guys did hit me with the one to let me know that everything looks good, sounds good, so we can go ahead and get into it. So, just another weekend, guys. What are you guys getting into? Did anybody do any fishing this weekend, any tournaments today, anything like that? If you did, make sure you drop that info down in the chat, because this is an area where you can come and do a little bit of bragging, kind of use it as your brag board. But of course, there'll be some of us that may not be able to brag. You may want to kind of hide a little bit, but this is a safe place. So you could come in here and, if you didn't do too well, let us know about that too, because everybody has experienced that. So, it kind of makes us feel a little more human, a little more like we're a member of the crew whenever we can share our wins, our ups, and our downs. So yeah, really, really big shout out to everybody for tuning in and sharing their weekend activities with us. All right, so let me hop into the chat, guys. I'm going to get into the chat, give a quick few shout outs, and just see who we have tuning in tonight. And then we're going to get into it, guys. So the number one stupid comment. And I know you guys saw that list. So we're going to go through that list and get some opinions from you guys. And this is an interactive live stream. So what I will do is drop the link in the chat. So if somebody wants to come up, I'll set the timer on about 1 minute. Let you come in here and voice your thoughts and opinions on any of the points that we're going over tonight. Then drop you down and bring somebody else up. Just kind of keep it interactive and interesting. Just add some spice to it. And remember, the thing is, guys, we're attacking the arguments or the points from one side or the other side, not the person. So that's what we're about tonight, guys. We're gonna have some fun with it. All right, so let's hop into the chat, see who we have checking in. All right, so shout out to the money team. We have Joseph checking in. Joseph is always getting active in the chat. One of the first ones in here. He said, so I'm pretty sure his answer was yes, that he thinks live imaging should be allowed. He said, because this is America. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, it is, isn't it? That's where we are. All right. Shout out to you for that. CT says, well, I'm here. What's going on? What are we getting into tonight? All right. Then Sunrise Showdown. What is going on? Glad to see you in the live stream. Said good to see you, CT. All right, let's see who else we have checking in. Sunrise Showdown. We have Joseph. We have Cajun Rob. What is going on, Cajun Rob? Cajun Rob checking into the live stream. Really appreciate you checking in. All right, let's see. Joseph says Looks like tonight's episode is gonna have some dudes ready to voice their opinions. Oh yeah, I mean, we welcome opinions here. Opinions may be over here, over there, this way, that way. You just never know. But it's always a chance to kind of learn something new. I mean, sometimes somebody may have a difference of opinion, but may make you think a little bit. May make you think a little bit and kind of, kind of sway you one way or the other. Just kind of, you may still kind of feel the same, but kind of differently about it. So that's what we're about here, guys. Just kind of exchanging opinions and just seeing how we can learn and grow from it. All right, let's see. Cajun Rob says, let her rip, Tater Chip. All right. Uh-oh, you guys are definitely getting active in the chat. I see some new people in here too. So really, really appreciate everybody for tuning in to the live stream. And this channel, everybody is welcome here. Just come here, sit back, kick back, relax, enjoy the show. And make sure you network with the guys in the chat, because you never know when there's somebody that is right there in your area, fishing the same lakes, going through the same experiences you are. Maybe you're looking to buy a new boat. Somebody has that information. Could be a boat dealer in here that has that great deal for you. Maybe you're trying to learn about some electronics, or maybe you hate electronics. You want to learn about some of the just the old school styles of fishing. We have all of those guys kind of mixing into the live stream. All right. And like I said, make sure you guys get active in the poll as you come into the live stream. And the other thing, can't forget about the Facebook crew. Shout out to the Facebook crew. Let me go ahead and just update this real quick, because each week we do have some people on the Facebook side of things. All right, let me just double check that over there. All right, so the Facebook crew, you guys should be live and in action. All right, so let's go ahead and hop back into the chat real quick. And like I said, we're just gonna have some fun with it, guys. Not really sure how long we'll be rolling into this live stream tonight, but I'm just kind of kick back, relax, and let me check on my peoples. Let me see how everybody's doing tonight. All right, so let's see, where were we at with the chat? Where we at? Okay, here we go. CT says, hello, folks. I'm thinking that old Uncle Randy and I are about to have some beef. Ah, come on, man. You just want to have some beef. All right, he says, see that number 2 comment? I've said those exact words. Let me glove up. Uh-oh, CT's taking a little personal. All right. Then Joseph says, I refuse to watch his channel now. I'll have to have Money read it to me. Come on, man. You guys know you like Randy's channel. He has some good entertaining information on there. All right. Shout out to Sunrise Showdown. He says, unfortunately, I have not been able to fish in a while due to work. Man, what kind of job is that? They don't care about their people. Maybe you should just change your job to fishing. What about that? Just tell them like, hey, if I can't fish, then I'm going to swap. I'm going to fish 9 to 5 and I'll come to work whenever I feel like it. All right. Shout out to Sunrise Showdown. All right. CT says, well, if this goes the way I'm thinking it might, I'll have to slap it. Ah, come on, man. Come on, man. It's not that kind of show. Uh-oh, guys. What's going on? Shout out to Big Jim. Big Jim says, hey, y'all. Yeah, man. Wait a minute. Y'all talk where you're in a little up north. So you still got that little southern style to you. Hey, y'all. All right. Hey, y'all. What's going on? What is going on, Big Jim? Yeah, he's over there doing his thing, has that new boat. Make sure you guys going to check out his channel, especially if you're thinking about getting a new boat. He has some information, I think he's rolling with that Phoenix, but he has accessories and things like that that you guys will definitely be interested in hearing, because we're tackle junkies and boat equipment junkies, all that kind of stuff. So it's always something good that we can learn from each other. All right, CT says, let me see. Hey, Big Jim fishing. All right, let's see who else we have checking in tonight, guys, and then we'll go ahead and get right into it. Oh, the other thing, the like button, guys. Did you hit the like button on your way in? Let me check. Let me check and see how we're looking on the likes. Come on, guys. We're sitting on 9 likes. Can I maybe get about 3 or 4 more likes? Can you get me up to about 15, 16 likes? Really, really appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the Facebook crew. I see some more of you guys chiming in right now. All right. Let's see what else we have going on in here. Just trying to get into the comments real quick, get caught up on that. And then we'll, I have a few clips that I'll play tonight. You know how I do. I'll share the screen, pull up a few clips, and then we'll get into the kind of reaction and review, the opinions and thoughts and everything of this list that we're going to be looking at. Could be good. Could be right. Could be bad, could be wrong. Who knows? We'll see. All right, let's see what else we have, guys. Let's see what else we have. All right. All right, gave a shout out to Joseph. He says this might be one of your biggest turnouts yet. It sure will be one of the biggest turn ups. Hey, I don't know about that one. It seems like a lot of guys actually like I guess the electronics thing is kind of a big thing because a lot of people invest funds into that. So whenever there's an issue, those, get some reactions from people. All right, and CT, are you able to see the poll now? You were saying that poll is blank. I see some people in here getting active on it. And actually, let's see. So the question of the evening is, do you feel that live imaging should be allowed in recreational fishing? And answer why in the comments. So I see we do have a few no's in here. So those are really, I want to make sure you guys get active in the comments if you feel that live imaging should not be allowed. Because more than likely you will agree with more of the points in here. And that way, like I said, we can get more of a balance, some balanced thoughts and opinions on that. So really, really appreciate everybody for hopping in here and getting active in that poll. All right, Big Jim Fishing says it has 15 votes. Oh yeah, we're up to 23 votes now. So you guys are definitely getting active on that poll. All right, so Doty Fishing, what is going on? Big shout out to Doty Fishing. He says, no, I want all the advantages. So he wants everything. All right, Joe Winkler, big shout out to Joe Winkler. All right, he said the poll is all good. All right, and Joseph says Team Ruger is about to grow tonight. Oh my goodness, Joseph. All right, we have Eat Squawk checking in. Okay, you kind of shorten the name a little bit, huh? All right, says, oh brother, what's Uncle Randy talking about now? They need to take his natural light away again. What is that? What is going on? I don't know what that means, but I don't think it sounds good. I got to keep my eye on Eat Squawk. All right. So CT says I had to reset. Okay, sounds good. All right. So yeah, so the poll is up and running. All right. Then Cajun Rob says, Money, where's your ATM at? Oh my goodness, my ATM? You mean Chicken Hawk? Because I'm always out there, kind of getting those funds from him out there on the lake. I don't know. He might have went back into hiding. I know you guys saw I had to kind of whoop up on him a little bit at Neely Henry. But next we're gonna be heading to Logan Martin. So that's where we'll be next, guys. But yeah, I don't know. We'll have to keep a lookout for Chicken Hawk. All right. Shout out to Texas Noop. He says boat maintenance today. All right. So yeah, you got to keep up on that boat maintenance. Yeah, I was out there playing around with my boat. There's always something you can get on there and do, change around, just move something back to where you moved it from before, all that kind of stuff. So just having a little fun with it. All right. So Sunrise Showdown says, yes, I truly feel that live imaging or any other sonar is absolutely a great thing to have. All right. And Joe Winkler, shout out to the Money Team. Really, really appreciate everybody for supporting the channel. If you want to become a member of the channel, just click that join button down below and it will show you a video that'll kind of, go through some of the perks and the things that it means to be a member of the Money Team. One of which is you will have that badge right next to your name that kind of indicates how long you have been a member of the channel. So really, really appreciate that. All right, then we have Brian. Let me see. We have Brian checking in. He says, it helps, but still don't make them bite. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I want you to remember that, Brian. I want you to remember that one. All right, then we have DP checking in. What is going on? Glad to have you in the live stream. All right, so yeah, we're gonna have some fun with this one, guys, as we go through the items on this list. And I want you to get active. And for everybody that is just tuning in, I see some more people coming in. Once I go through just a few of a few things on the list, then I'm going to drop the link. And if you want to come up, I can pull you up on the screen. We'll share the screen for a minute. Let you voice your opinion about the good, the bad, or what you think about the list. If you agree, disagree, all that good stuff, it's all good. All right, let's see what else we have. All right, Eat Squawk says, what they say about opinions. They are like, Eat Squawk, I think you've been hanging around somebody I might know just a little too much. I can tell. All right, shout out to Harry. Harry says, good evening, Money Bass and DP. All right, shout out to Harry. Really appreciate you coming in. All right, so yeah, you guys are definitely getting active in the chat. I'm trying to get caught up real quick. So this is the other thing, guys. So one of the other perks of being a member of the channel, the Money Team, once those comments start moving a little too fast for me, what I do is just try to get caught up, and I will go through and I will read all of the members of the Money Team. Those are the guys that you see that have the badges next to their name. So it's easier for me to kind of go through there and pick those out real quick. And so I see, and I do like to, be very interactive with the live stream. So not only do I bring you guys up on the screen, I try to read through all of the comments the best that I can, but sometimes it just starts getting away from me. So we've been rolling for about 15 minutes, having some fun with it, getting started with everything. I see you guys in here networking, which is a great thing. All right, let's see what else we have. So we have Joseph checking in. He says, oh no, Harry gonna come in with them big old gentle hands of his to handle this delicate subject. Oh my goodness. All right, let's see. All right, shout out to Clint Perry. Says, just go fishing. Why spy on the fish? You're hunting with high technology. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Fishing is kind of high technology these days. All right, so it sounds like Clint Perry may say, yeah, we may need to lay off of that live imaging a little bit. So if that's your stance, Clint, I'd be interested to hear, your thoughts and everything on the items on the list. All right, CT says, let's see, Darren Pearson. Hey, brother, good to see you. We're still going to do that live. All right. Yeah. So we're waiting on that live, CT. I know you and Darren Pearson are going to link up and do a live stream about JDM products. I believe that's what you guys were talking about. All right. Let's see who else we have checking in, guys. Let me just try to speed up so that we can get to the good part. Let's go ahead and try to get to the good part. All right. What's going on, Joseph? He says, I used to like Randy and I used to like his channel, but when he started making content for clickbait and views, he isn't getting a lick of support from me. Joseph. YouTube is kind of a funny thing. There's some behind the scenes things that goes on that, kind of once you know about this behind the scenes stuff, you kind of change your thoughts on that. YouTube does kind of do some things that kind of that, I guess that's all I say about that. But yeah, so I mean, it's all good. It's all good. Everybody has their opinion, but you gotta admit he has some good content. All right, Harry. All right, Harry says no one wants these hands. Uh-oh. What are you guys talking about in here? I gotta keep an eye on y'all. All right, let's see. Let's see what else we have. All right, so all I'm doing now, guys, is just trying to get through the comments real quick, just so we can see who is tuning in tonight. And I see some more people tuning in. As you come into the live stream, make sure you get active in the chat. And there is a poll that is in the chat. So just drop your thoughts on that poll. And that will give us an indication of what the balance is like as far as who we have in the live stream as we start getting into it. As long as we have more of a, like an equal balance, then it kind of makes for more of an interesting conversation. That's what we're here for. Just share some thoughts and opinions, have a good conversation. All right, let's see where else we were. All right, so here we go, guys. What I'm going to do is just go through the rest of these real quick and just read the rest of the Money Team chat. And then I will go ahead and pull up and share the screen and show you guys a few video clips so we can see what your thoughts are on it. All right, Joe Winkler says, I smashed it on the way in. There we go, guys. Really, really appreciate it if everybody could hit that like button. Let's see if we can get that like button. Can I get maybe like 3 or 4, maybe 7 more likes? If you could, it really does help out the channel, guys. All right, then Cajun Rob giving another shout out. Let's just see who else we have in here. All right, then Sunrise Showdown says, I wish it was that easy with my job. I'm a single father with a child, so I have to do what I have to do. But I'm here. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big shout out to you, man. That is actually, I guess that wasn't, didn't mean to hit that one. But shout out to you. Really, really good deal with that. A single father out here making it happen. Yeah, you definitely have to do what you do. Do what you have to do. Single father out here raising your son and putting in work at the job and, putting in a little fishing time when you can. There you go. That is it. Very commendable. All right. Harry says, Money says it isn't going to be, he isn't going to be on long. What is that? The beating line is 90 minutes. Yeah, so maybe 90 minutes. I mean, what do you think a long live stream is? I think the longest one that I did was maybe like 6 hours. I think we went about 6 hours before, from about 8 o'clock to about 2 a.m. or something. I mean, we were having a good time in here. You got to admit, guys. All right, let's see who else we have. All right, Joseph says, let me see, put me down for 2 hours and 15 minutes or greater. All right, let's see who else we have in here. Joseph is always getting active in here. It says, let's see, Harry, we know that Money don't get any work done in 90 minutes or less. He's on island time. Yaman. Got to do the island time on. All right. Dodie Fisher says, off topic. Anyone tow with a GM 3.0 liter diesel? Buy again or not? Anybody have any input on that? So Dodie wants to know, does anyone tow with a GM 3.0 liter diesel? Oh, yeah, that diesel, man, get some power behind it. All right, then let's see. Joseph says, Doty, it's a beast, but some of them were hit and miss for reliability. Depends on the year and the run. All right, and let me see. Let me squeeze. Goodness, you guys are definitely moving pretty fast in here now. Wait a minute. Shout out to Steve Clanton. Oh yeah, I want to hear the update on Gunnersville. Did you make it happen when you went out there? I know you were going out there trying to catch some of those hogs. So how did that end up turning out for you? All right, let me just see. All right, guys. So we're almost caught up in the chat, and then I will pull up a few clips for you guys. All right. So Joe Winkler says on the helm with LV34 and a LV34 at the helm. Okay. All right. So you're rolling. What do you have? Two live imaging systems on your boat? All right. Sunrise Showdown says after using Lowrance Active Target, it's hard to go back. Oh yeah. Once you pick a system and you get used to it, I mean, you'll be pretty, be good to go. All right, let's see. Then he says he's running Active Target. Harry says forward-facing sonar is another advantage of technology that is beneficial and another tool. Uh-oh. Did you say tool? Okay, remember that. Keep that in mind. All right, let's see. He says down imaging, side imaging, mapping, advancements, 360, GPS accuracy, etc. All right. All right, let's see who else we have in here, guys. Like I said, I'm just trying to get through here real quick if I can. I mean, but I guess then again, it's no rush. It's just a Saturday evening. We're just gonna have some fun, just hang out a little bit with the fellas and the ladies. All right. All right. Joseph says at MoneyBass, I hear you. And I have my own channels on YouTube. That is right. Shout out to Joseph, guys. He's doing a little something on YouTube. All right. He says, but you don't change who you are for the sake of a check. Okay, I agree with that. I may be okay, he says I may be but at least I don't turn into a for a check. But hey, I mean, you never know. It could be somebody's true beliefs. All right, Big Jim Fishing says if you are not scoping, you're hoping. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. If you're not scoping, you're hoping. I guess that's true and not true. I mean, because there's some people who have some skills to where they can make some things happen. All right, without without the live scope. But I definitely understand what you mean by that. That's kind of a funny one. I like that. All right, so yes, Steve, if you could just drop me an update. Let me know how you did out there on Gunnersville. All right, then we have Campbell J. Fishing. What is going on? He says live streaming on a Saturday night. What's up with that money? Hey man, I was just sitting at home relaxing. I was like, let me check on my peoples. Let me see how everybody was doing and make this an interactive live stream. And I see we have some more people checking in. Make sure as you come into the live stream, hit the like button for one. And then two, there is a poll that is in the chat that I will be going over in just a minute. And it kind of adds to the, just to the conversation. And the question of the evening is, do you feel live imaging should be allowed in recreational fishing? And then just answer why in the comments, one way or the other, however you feel about that. And right now we're sitting at 91% says yes, because I mean we talk about live imaging on this channel and not a lot, and we have 9% no. So that means we will have some opinions on both sides. It may be a little unbalanced, but hey, as long as we get a little bit from both sides of the spectrum, then that'll still lead to an interesting conversation. All right, shout out to Tim Davis. He says it is just another tool. Okay, I want you to remember that it's just another tool that helps enhance the fishing experience. All right, let's see who else we have. DJ Polly, what is going on? Howdy, MoneyBass. Okay, you must be down south with me talking about howdy. I mean, that's using my lingo. What's going on? Really appreciate you stepping into the live stream. All right, then Steve says all small ones, no fish on the docks. Oh man, they left the docks. Oh man, that was ugly. I just knew you were gonna come back saying you caught at least 1 5-pounder, all small ones. But yeah, Gunnersville can get kind of tough. And I guess we're kind of, in that transition right now too, weather changes and all that. But that's one of those things we always say we don't catch them, huh? So I'm trying to get some input. All right, then Campbell J. Fishing says CT. My brother told me it was going down. Oh yeah, it's going down. We're gonna get into it. All right, let me just slide through here real quick. Okay, actually, we're almost caught up on the comments, guys. All right, so Joseph says CT tonight's show's gonna show Tonight's gonna be so hot, money is gonna go call Corky owners. Now I don't know what go all Corky owners. All right, DJ Polly says, told my fellow railroad brothers about you. Oh, really appreciate that. Really appreciate that. And guys, if you could just send the link out to 2 people that you think would be interested in topics like this. So we cover fishing, where there's hot topics, could be about electronics, could be about baits, lures, just things going on in the fishing industry. And sometimes it's just entertaining topics and things that you see, like some of those viral videos and all that. So we have some fun with it, guys. All right, Sunrise Showdown says, active target, I could see everything I needed to see to catch fish. All right, so yeah, once you get those things dialed in, there's somebody that's out there rooting for each one. So yeah, you just have to get out there and make it happen. All right, let's see. Harry says betting line 90 minutes. All right. So you guys are putting some bets on it. All right, let's see what Doty Fishing has to say. Mega Live is making me lazier. If I don't see a 10 fish or larger school, I'm not getting out of my seat. I stay behind my steering wheel operating my trolling motor and electronics. Okay, gotcha. Okay, so you have your remote. I guess you're using it to scan back and forth. That's a way to do it. That's a good way to do it. But you just have to be careful, because if you run a little shallow and that trolling motor gets stuck on something, it'll be kind of ugly. Yeah, it could be ugly. All right, let's see. Joseph says, son, I reach way back when I'm slacklining. All right. Then DP says live scoping is no different than bed fishing. Yeah, I mean, it's a little different, but everybody understands with that, because both of them, one of them you're using those goodness, I keep forgetting the name of the shades, but polarized. So you're using the polarized shades to kind of help you see the fish. With forward facing sonar, you using your sonar to help you see the fish. So yeah, I mean, I get exactly what you're saying with that. All right, then Campbell J Fishing says, yes, forward facing sonar should be allowed just for the pleasure of. Come on, man. What is going on with that? All right, shout out to Hunter Taylor, says, just because you see them on side image, 360 live, etc., that doesn't mean you're gonna catch them. What? Are you sure about that? I don't know about that. If you see him, you're gonna catch him, right? If you see him, you're gonna catch him. All right, Big Ivy Fishing. All right, what's going on? Shout out to Big Ivy Fishing and the Money Team. Really appreciate you checking into the live stream. All right, Big Ivy says, why are bass boats over 10K? They don't fly. I think you meant to say over 100K, right? Because I heard you guys talking in the chat a while back, and I did not believe that the bass boats were 100K plus at the time, until you guys kind of, because I hadn't looked at boat prices in a while. So that was very surprising for me. All right, then Big Jim Fisher says Hunter Taylor in the house. Yeah, what is going on, Hunter Taylor? All right, let's see. Harry says money's discussion on baits, shaky head, and swim baits. Oh yeah, and shaky heads. All right, Tommy Odom. All right, what is going on? Really appreciate you checking into the live stream. All right, says technology is only going to continue to advance. My last boat had live scope, but my new boat didn't. After having it for a while, I felt a vital piece was missing in my fishing arsenal. Oh yeah, I mean, I think that's just about with anything. Once you advance on to something else, even let's say if somebody's fishing and they don't have sonar, side scan, down scan, or what if you don't have a trolling motor and you're used to just dropping an anchor and having to fish, and now you get a trolling motor? That advancement alone is going to just change it's going to change it. You won't want to go back to throwing an anchor, because I did used to fish like that. You pull up to a spot, you toss a little anchor out, and you sit there and you fish. When you're finished, you pull the anchor in, the rope and everything. Anybody else do that? Pull the anchor in, paddle to your next spot, throw the anchor out there. So yeah, technology can be a good thing. It definitely makes it more convenient. All right, then CT says, let me see, Harry, put me down for 50 on the over. Okay, all right, you guys are out here, okay, having some fun with it. All right, let's see. Then Joseph says Rugers are barking tonight on live. All right, guys. All right, we're getting ready. All right, Rob Fish says, I think live scope should be allowed, but I think less of people that use it. Oh my goodness. Oh man, you think less of them. Oh my goodness. Okay, all right. Interesting. All right, Sunrise Showdown says, let's see. Yes, forward facing sonar should be allowed just for the pleasure of Campbell J. Fishing. Joseph, you guys are coming in here kind of tainting my audience a little bit. All right. Campbell J. Fisher says, Big Ivy, I beg to differ. If you've ever seen money drive a boat, I guarantee it will indeed fly. Oh, yeah. I've been known to, go airborne once or twice, but, I've kind of slowed it down a little bit. I don't really handle it like that anymore. All right. Then Dodie Fishing says, I'm working with some folks to develop underwater drones better than port-facing sonar. Oh, are you being serious? Because I know that you guys do know that they already have that, right? There's actually people out there fishing with underwater drones, and they're using little remote control boats to actually, instead of casting, they use it to take their lures out in the water, all of that kind of stuff. So people are using technology for all kinds of things out there, guys. All right, Cajun Rob says, let's see. He says, Joseph, I think a Ruger dog may show up at No. Come on, guys. All right, let's see. All right, so what we'll do, guys, let's go ahead and get into it. We've had some fun going through the chat. For everybody just tuning in, like I said, please hit the like button on your way in. And if you have not voted on the poll, there is a poll in the chat. The question of the evening is, do you feel live imaging should be allowed in recreational fishing? And then drop your reasoning behind that in the comments. All right, so what we're going to do first, guys, is I'm pretty sure a lot of you guys are aware, Randy gave me a shout out the other day. I was kind of surprised, but I know, he drops in from time to time. He gets active in the comments. Really, really appreciate anybody that comes over to the channel, just to check us out and see what's going on, see what we're talking about. Everybody is welcome here, guys. So we just like sharing different opinions, hearing thoughts and all that kind of stuff that, may broaden our own horizons and, just expose us to different ways of thinking with things. So that's kind of what we're about. But let's go ahead and take a look at the shout out that I got the other day. And actually, I kind of made a response video with a little twist to it. So let's go ahead and take a look at it, guys. Here we go.
MoneyBass. Ryan Johnson is the host of this. He has a podcast. And the thing about this, you may find it odd that MoneyBass.
He did not just. Did you just say that?
Odd? What is he about to say about me? One of my subscribers just sent me a message and told me that Randy Blaukat has some things to say about me and my podcast.
Now, is that going to be a problem?
Yeah, it's going to be a problem.
So, I had to check it out for myself.
What is going on? Like, what is going on?
I think it may be in retaliation for some things I said about him about 6 months ago. Randy Blaukat.
Oh, no!
Are you serious?
After we take a look at what he had to say about me, I'll show you what I had to say about him.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Number 8 is MoneyBass. Ryan Johnson is the host of this. He has a podcast. And the thing about this, you may find it odd that I think MoneyBass is one of the best channels out there because he does a lot of live scope and forward-facing sonar videos. But I love Ryan's personality. I think he's a great podcaster. He's very likable. I mean, the topics he talks about, it's like he's got a podcast, sort of a conversationalist, interactive, very, very interesting to listen to. And it keeps my attention. And that's not easy to do in bass fishing because I've got the things that keep me interested in bass fishing. I've been doing it so long, it's limited. But anyway, MoneyBass, Ryan Johnson's podcast, is definitely well worth the listen. I find it very educational, entertaining, and it's just fun to watch. And like I said, even though he loves live scope and he talks about live scope, I'm not holding that against him. It's a really good YouTube channel to watch there.
Is that what you were expecting to hear? Hold on. I saw the video. I saw the mic was off. Sorry about that, guys. But yeah, what I was saying was, I kind of hurt my arm, guys. I was trying to reach around and pat myself on the back, and CT caught me. He said, MoneyBass, didn't you just get your arm out of that cast, bending it to pat yourself on the back again? The doctor is going to be mad. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So I had some fun with that one, guys. Really, really appreciated that. All right. So let's see. Let me just hop back into the chat real quick. And I have the next thing that we will do is hop straight into the video so we can get into this list. So there's going to be 5 things on this list. All right. And let me just make sure you guys are getting active in the poll. Yep. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. We're definitely getting active in the poll. You guys have got those numbers up kind of high in there. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right, just checking in the chat again real quick, guys. All right, so you let me know my audio was out. I really appreciate that because when I get in here and get rolling, guys, sometimes I'll mute out and forget to mute back in. All right, so Big Jim says, man, I remember that live. That was a fun show going over our favorite channels that we watched. That is right. So we had a good time with that one, and you guys were definitely shocked whenever I gave my list. All right, so now let's go ahead and let me drop this down real quick. And we're going to go ahead and get straight into the video, guys. I'm saying straight into the video, but I've been going through the chat for a quick little minute. All right, so now let me share my screen, and we are going to take a look at that top 5 list. And there's going to be some interesting clips that I pull up to kind of go along with that. All right, so just bear with me while I get everything set up. This is a live show. All right, here we go. Get that ready for you and bring it on up. Okay, there we go. All right. All right. And DP says that he cannot hear me anymore. Are you guys able to hear me in the chat? Just drop a one in the chat if you guys can hear me. Okay. All right. So DP, see, Joseph says DP, the sound of his awesomeness is deafening. All right, so I'm pretty sure that you guys can hear me. If okay, there we go. Yeah, if Joseph is dropping comments like that. All right, cool. So DP may just be a little behind. Sometimes when people start, they may be a little behind in the live stream. All right, those ones are coming through. So you guys are ready. You guys are ready. All right, so here we go. What we're gonna do is go ahead and just take a listen, and we're gonna go through his list. I'll kind of write them down, and then you guys can start dropping your comments, and then maybe once we get to maybe like the 3rd thing on his list, then I'll drop the link. And if anybody wants to come up, then I'll bring you up on the screen. You can, give you a minute or two, let you go ahead and voice your opinion on what you're thinking about the list so far. So let's go ahead and take a listen, guys.
Okay, guys, I'm going to read through here the top 5 most pathetic, ridiculous, lame excuses that I see people trying to justify forward-facing sonar and live scope with. So we'll start to.
All right, and real quick, hit a 1 if you're able to hear this audio real quick. I'm about to play it again. Just listen.
Number 5, then we'll work up to number 1 here.
All right, so he said number 5. We're going to work up to number 1. Did you guys hear that? Okay. All right, there go the ones. All right, so let's listen. Here we go. Number 5.
Now, the first one is I hear a lot of times it's like, Randy, it's no different than people using power poles, neutral motors, or MoneyBass jerk baits, or $400 rods. Guys, it's not even in the same universe for that. When you're talking, we're going to refer to this a lot, when you're talking about a piece of technology that has the ability to actually see fish swimming in live time right in front of you, where you can see the fish moving and reacting to different type of scenarios and lures, that is not even in the same universe as some type of a jerk bait or power pole that locks you down into one spot there. It's that I don't even understand the correlation, how somebody can say that. That's like equating a musket with an atomic bomb or something like that. It's ridiculous. Number 4.
All right, hold on. He said a musket to an atomic bomb. All right, so what do you guys think about that? Who agrees with that one? So he said that some people say that it's the same. They're equating it to what do you say? Like the lures that you use, your power poles, talons, whatever you have on your boat. So put agree if you agree with that, and put disagree if you disagree. And that's point number 5. That is no different from your trolling motor and other pieces of equipment like that. Let me just play it one more time so you guys can.
I see people trying to justify forward-facing sonar and live scope with. So we'll start to number 5, then we'll work up to number 1 here.
All right, number 5.
Now, the first one is I hear a lot of times it's like, Randy, it's no different than people using power poles, neutral motors, or MegaBass jerk baits, or $400 rods. Guys, it's not.
All right. So who thinks that those two are the same? Who agrees that they are the same? All right. So I'm surprised. Okay. So Rob Fish says he agrees that they are the same. Is that correct? So live imaging is the same as having your talons or your jerk baits, your high price jerk baits, things like that. So you're saying that they are the same. And if you are saying that they are the same, how are they the same? Because I would say that I don't agree with that. I do not think they're the same. So I would tend to agree with Randy on that one. But what do you guys think? But you guys are saying that you wait a minute. Am I saying it backwards? I think I'm saying it backwards. So who agrees that they are the same? So I disagree. I do not think they are the same. And Randy disagrees. He does not think they're the same either. So let's do it like that, just to make sure I'm saying it right. So we said Rob Fish, he agrees that they are the same. Willie disagrees with that statement. All right. Then Joseph says, ask MoneyBass and Hawk just how many fish LiveScope caught them last weekend. Oh, come on, man. Come on. Why does it why does it have to be like that? Oh my goodness. Okay. All right. CT says Big Jim fishing. It's when he looks at himself in the mirror. listen. Come on, CT. You guys stay on topic. All right, let's see. So Campbell J. Fishing says he agrees. So you guys agree with the statement that live imaging is the same as your trolling motor, your power poles, and things like that. All right, Rob Fish says, oh, wait, okay. All right, so Harry says he disagrees with that statement. Okay, so everybody is disagreeing with that statement. So if you disagree with the statement, then that means you agree with Randy, right? All right, so I just want to make sure. So CT says he disagrees with the statement. So you agree with Randy that those two things are not equivalent. And I would say they're not equivalent either, because the things that they named that there's a comparing them to, in my opinion, aren't things that aren't necessarily pieces of, like a talon or a power pole, something like that. That isn't something that directly helps you catch the fish, like your sonar, like your down scan, things like that. So I would say those are, although there are tools that can help you catch fish, they aren't necessarily in the same, I would say, in the same category. That's the way I would put it. All right, Joseph says nope. Joe Winkler says he agrees with the statement. Campbell J says no, not the same. So Campbell J, you agree with Randy. All right, so I agree with Randy on that one too. All right, and then so Willie says, wait, I agree. So he agrees with the statement that they are the same. All right, Jigging with Jimmy says he disagrees. All right. And Dodie Fishing says, not me, but when I drew Randy in a derby, we didn't agree on much. Oh, come on, man. What do you mean? Let me take a look at the poll again real quick. So this is the results of the polls so far, guys. All right. So the question of the evening is, let me see. Do you feel live imaging should be allowed in recreational fishing? And this is just to give us a gauge of where the audience is before we even start getting into the list. So 90% of you are saying yes, that you do feel that live imaging should be used. 10% are saying no. But even with this first question, it looks like a lot of the guys are in here are agreeing with Randy. And this is what I'll do. So I'll go ahead and end that poll, because we kind of see where we're at. And then I will start a new poll with each one of the questions. So that way I can just put in the poll. So I'm going to end this poll. So right now we're at 88% of people are on the favoring live imaging. 11% are, well, it just changed again, 89% versus 11%. So right now, the overall majority of people that are watching the live stream right now, actually that has 44 votes in it. So there's people that are coming in and out of the live stream, guys. But so far, the overall majority is favoring live imaging. So, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to agree with each statement, or actually disagree with each statement on here. And to make that kind of easier, what I will do is I will just put it in a poll, and that way you guys can reply in the chat. But then to make it simple, I'll just put it in the poll. So live imaging is the same as hold on one second. as your trolling motor. What was it? Trolling motor, power poles, etc. And then we have who agrees with that, and then we will have who disagrees with that. And let's see who wins that. So let's go ahead and start that poll. So that poll is up. So now that's what I think we'll do it that way, guys. So that way it'll be easier for us to make sure that we're answering, that I'm asking it and it's being answered the correct way. Oh, you know what I forgot to do, guys? The sponsor of the live stream. Hold on just a minute. So special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Edward Ragsdale Fishing. He was the sponsor of the last live stream. Each week, what I say is whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker during the live stream is the sponsor of the live stream, because this channel is supported by you guys, the viewers and members of the channel. So really, really appreciate Edward Ragsdale Fishing. So right now, that carried over from the last live stream that we did. So really, really appreciate that. All right, so let's see, where were we, guys? So the question of the evening right now, the question number 1, which is actually reason number 5 on the list, is live imaging is the same as your trolling motor, power poles, etc. So we have, okay, it's moving. Make sure you guys get active in the chat. And make sure you click that like button while you're getting active in the chat and that poll also. All right, so right now, those numbers are moving. You guys are moving. Okay, so we're at 15 votes. So we still have a lot more people in here. So I'm just letting the numbers, letting everybody get a chance to go ahead and vote. And while you're doing that, I will hop back into the chat. And once we get up to maybe about 25 to 30 votes, then we'll move on to question number 2. So that's where we'll do it, guys, because we only have 5. So if you guys get active in the chat, on the poll, then that'll help us move a little bit faster. All right, so let's see where where we're at. All right, so Big Ivy Fishing said that he disagreed. And like I said, the poll will kind of make that a little more clear. All right, so Rob Fish says, I think there are advancements in technology. All right, Rob Fish says, but not the same. All right, shout out to Willie J. Allen Jr. checking in, says, I agree, they are the same. Okay, yeah, so I disagree. I do not think those are the same. I don't think that those are the same. All right, and let's see. Hunter Taylor says that Big Jim, he wears the rain coat because Hunter Taylor, what is going on? All right, Harry says the Hawk needs a refund. Oh, the Hawk is not getting a refund. He's going to take another beating once we head out to the next lake. How about that? All right. Joseph says, hey, man, seriously, how much did it help? Did y'all break the scales and set the population back? Did you? Come on, man. It was a cold front came through, and what had happened during that last tournament, the cold front mixed in with the southeastern northern kind of westerly wind kind of had the fish confused. I knew what I was doing. The fish were just kind of confused that day. So that's what was happening. That's why live imaging did not help me that day. All right, Sunrise Showdown says disagree. All right, guys, we're up to 21 votes. All right, so we just need about 9 more votes in there. I see we have a good little crowd watching. So once we get a few more votes on that, the question is, live imaging is the same as your trolling motor, power poles, etc. So it's the same as those type of things. So we're not talking about side imaging or side scan or anything like that. So we're talking about pieces of equipment like your power poles, your trolling motor, things like that. So we have a few people that agree with that, but right now that agree is losing. All right. Okay, we got a few more votes coming in. All right, Campbell J. Fishing says, stop flipping it around. Now we're just confused. Like the fish that I was trying to catch. The fish were confused too. They didn't know they were supposed to bite my lure. So Campbell J. Fishing says we're all confused. All right, so yeah, hopefully that poll that I just dropped in there will clear it up a little bit. And I definitely see you guys getting active in the chat. So let me just try to zoom through here real quick. And all I'm doing right now, guys, is I'm just going through the chat while we are waiting for more people to respond to the poll. Once we get up to around 30 votes, then we'll move to the reason number 2 before we get to the number 1 stupid comment that Randy was talking about. But yeah, so we're on question 1 right now. And it is live imaging is the same as your trolling motor, power poles, etc. If you agree, go ahead and click agree. If you disagree, hit disagree. We're up to 23 votes. So yeah, we have 30 something people in here. So just going to give a few more people to kind of read through it. Maybe they want to think about it a second and then they'll answer. All right. Maybe that's what's going on. All right. So let's see what else we have in here. All right, Joe Winkler says, I have had tournament anglers pack up and leave the tournament when their spot lock doesn't work on the trolling motor. Oh, that's ugly. But so let me ask you this, because I've heard people, say things like that before when something isn't working. And I think a lot of times what people are saying, they want to relate it to, like, say if their live imaging isn't working or if your sonar isn't working, but you're saying if their spot lock wasn't working. So the trolling motor is working, they just can't spot lock. Do you think it could possibly be the frustration and the, just that feeling that you get of, man, I put all of this time and money into this equipment and my day is ruined because I just paid $4,000 for this piece of equipment, got to game day and it is not working. So now my day is just done. My mind is not right. So I'm leaving. It may not even be that they can't catch fish. It's just that the frustration of that equipment being so, all the price of it and everything, all that time and effort that you've put into it. Some people that just messes their mind up and they take off. Of course, there's going to be people that, things just aren't working right. And they're like, man, it's 11 o'clock. I haven't caught any fish. I'm out. See you later. I'll see you on the next one. All right, so where are we at? So we're still inching along on that poll. Let me just refresh it real quick just to see where we are at. All right, so let's get 2 more votes in there, guys. We get 2 more votes in there, then we'll call we'll go ahead and see if that one's an overall agree or disagree. So all right, so I'm pretty sure Randy disagrees with that. So live imaging is the same as your trolling motor, power poles, etc. We have agree or disagree. So Randy disagrees, and right now the majority of you are agreeing with Randy because we have 67% that is disagreeing. So it looks like that's going to take it on that one. Let me hop back in here in the chat real quick. And like I said, guys, whenever we have certain live streams, the chat will start moving. And what I always would do is I will go through and I will start reading the guys that have the badge next to the name. Those are the members of the money team. Those are the members of the channel. So the channel members are who we call the money team. They have that badge next to their name. It stands out. So right there, like you see Joe Winkler, he has that badge right next to his name, showing that he has been a member for, let's see, Joe Winkler's been a member for a little over 2 months. So yeah, he's in the game. But yeah, so let me just try to get caught up in the comments real quick, guys. And then we'll move on to statement number 2. So right now it looks like the majority of people in the chat are agreeing with Randy on that one. Oh yeah. So Randy's right. What do you guys think? Randy's right. He's winning. All right. So Big Ivy Fishing says seeing and feeling are different. Oh yeah. You can't really base stuff off of feelings all the time. All right, so Harry says, could you imagine the backlash from the companies if it was banned from recreational fishing? They would stop advancing technology if they couldn't sell it to the masses. Oh, yeah, because they invest a lot of money in that, and they have to get those funds back. All right, CT says, MoneyBass, I'm willing to pay by the minute for more than a minute. I'm hot. All right. Harry says, if instead of is on my previous, okay, so you just rewording that statement. All right, so let me just hop through here and get caught up on the money team. Okay, there we go. So we have enough answers in the comment section. So let me just hop through here and check out the money team's comments real quick. All right, so Joseph says live imaging, side imaging, down imaging, flasher, flogger, submersible camera, all are tech. Some are easier to use than others. All right. So yeah, I agree with that. All right. Joseph also says, literally every piece of equipment on my boat has a different function, but at the end of the day, they are all tools. Uh-oh. Did he say tools? All right. He said they are all tools. It's a loaded question. All right. Harry says he agrees. Let's see. Big Ivy says fishing is supposed to be about instance. Looking at a screen at fish moving around, that takes the whole idea out of fishing. All right. So it sounds like Big Ivy is like, hey, that original poll, he does not like live imaging being used while fishing. All right. All right. Vernon Neal says all tools that help you catch more fish. All right. Then we have Scott McNeil. Shout out to the Facebook crew. Really appreciate you tuning in to the live stream. All right, says greeting from sunny Arizona. We have somebody else that comes in here and says they're from Arizona too. So maybe, hopefully, you guys are out there spreading the word and sending it out to at least 2 of your peoples to let them know that you can come on over and hang out too. And what I'll do, guys, is I will go ahead and drop the link in the chat. And so with each one of these questions, if somebody wants to come up, and I can't leave you up long, so we won't, go into like 2, 3, 4 hours into the live stream. So if you want to come up, voice your opinion on that question, then I can bring you up. That link is now in the chat. Just click on that link. Make sure that you are in an area where your lighting is good. Then I can pull you up and just hear your opinion, your thoughts on that first reason that was on that list. And so that question is, live imaging is the same as your trolling motor, power poles, etc., like those pieces of equipment like that are on your boat. And we have 31% agree with that statement and 69% disagree with that statement. So Randy also disagrees with that statement. So for the purposes of this live stream, Randy is right. Oh, yeah, he's right on that one. So the majority of people are agreeing with Randy on that one. All right, so Joseph says, MoneyBass, just be straight. You had the live imaging and you enjoyed using it, but it didn't catch you not one extra fish last weekend. Goodness gracious. Joseph, you're not going to let me live that down, huh? Yes, I was out there catching dinks. I was catching dinks, man, but I was trying. Oh my goodness. All right. Yeah, Joseph is getting on me, man. Yes, but I will say this. I did not use my live imaging that much for that tournament. Actually, I just used it in one area. It was just a tough day for me. And remember, that lake is, can I give you some excuses? Is that okay? Can I give you some excuses? So yeah, that lake, I fished it maybe like 6, 7 years ago. The first day we got there on Friday. I spent Friday pretty much going through and setting up the stuff to do the live stream. So what he's referring to, guys, is I fished a benefit veteran tournament last weekend at Lake Neely. Henry Chicken Hawk was there, so we were going head to head to see who would come out victorious between us two. Obviously, we both got stomped in the overall tournament. I think it was like 11 something pounds won. I had like 5 something pounds with 4 fish, I believe. But yeah, so that's what he is referring to. So I had live imaging on my boat, but I did not really use it that much. For me, it was not the type of lake or river system that was conducive for me. But Joseph is not going to let me live that down. I have to hurry up and get out to another lake and catch some fish, so he'll let off of it just a little bit. All right, Harry says money is just baiting him along like his bait tracker on Mega Live so he can take more of the Hawks money. Hey, there's nothing wrong with a little money here and there. All right, shout out to Dodie Fishing says it's a rare tournament where everything works. Oh yeah, and that is tough, and it definitely does get frustrating. It can make you want to go home and quit. Sometimes, I mean, there's times where you get to the lake and your motor doesn't even work, so all you're left with is your trolling motor. There are some people that will pack up, leave, and go home, and actually, that did happen to me one time. I mean, I went and I pre-fished. I found some great areas that had some fish. On the location, it was actually Lake Murray, but that was like a 3-hour and something ride for me. I went out there pre-fished. I was ready to roll, and this is before live imaging. But then tournament day, put the boat in the water, turn the key, motor would not start, so I had to troll, and the wind was horrendous that day. So I was getting tossed and turned all over the place trying to fish a little bit, and me and my co-angler, we were just like, because it was a team tournament, we're like, yeah, man, we have to go ahead and take an L on this one because we can't fight that wind with just the trolling motor. And we weren't able to really go anywhere on the lake. All right, so let's see. Shout out to Joe Winkler. He says, facts from my series, pre-COVID average big fish, 35 to 50 fish over 5 pounds. This year, there were 140 fish over 5 pounds that were weighed in. Ooh, okay. But But are you saying that that is because of live imaging? Because remember, live imaging was out before COVID. The thing that COVID changed, and I think a lot of people aren't taking those numbers into consideration. And if Steve Clanton is still in here, he sells boats, guys. And I remember reaching out to him, because there were some people that were coming to me asking about buying boats. And I said, hey, hit Steve up. I'll check with him and see what type of incentives are available. And Steve was like, there are no incentives. And this was during COVID, because he said they could not keep boats. Boats were used boats, new boats, everything was selling. So the number of people that started fishing, that number just went up astronomically. And so I'm thinking that the numbers that I heard before were like in the millions of people that started fishing more. So there's a lot more people fishing too. So I think it was just kind of that perfect storm of a lot of things happening at the same time. And some people are just equating it to one thing. If you talk to some people, they won't even mention that it has anything to do with electronics. They'll say it has something to do with the amount of people that are now fishing from the bank, some without boats. Some people will say because of all the boats that were sold. No, it's because of these electronics. No, it's because people aren't working. They're working from their boats and fishing at the same time. So you can't, for me, I don't see how somebody can really put it on one particular thing when all of these things changed at the same time. All right, so let's see. CT says, MoneyBass, yes, they can be mad, but we have a word for that. It's called CT. I don't know what you're talking about. All right, Sunrise Showdown says technology is better now than it was, but the live active is better regardless of power poles. Yeah, so I just think those would be in a different type of category. So I tend to agree with Randy on this one, that the statement live imaging is the same as your trolling motor and power poles, etc., are the same. I disagree with that. So the poll ended at 69% on that one. All right, so let's see, guys. All right, let me hop through here real quick. I see just a few more comments from the Money Team. Shout out to the members of the channel. Really, really appreciate it. All right, so let's see. Joe Winkler says, pre-COVID, the average of 2 teams were about 20-pound bags per tournament. This year, 5 to 7 teams weighed in over 20 pounds per tournament. Yes, forward-facing sonar does make a huge impact in my tournaments. All right, so yeah, so maybe if I would think if you were to look and see the numbers of people increase in the tournaments, and yeah, it's just so many factors. Because for me, I started hearing more about people actually getting guides more. More people got into fishing, and now they're competing against guys that have been competing and learn and knowing about fishing for a while. So they take that shortcut, they go out there and they hire guides, and they're buying waypoints. I know you guys saw the videos I put out there about people buying waypoints, hiring guides and all that stuff. So trying to just say that it's live imaging, how would you know that? How would you know that these guys aren't sneaking out there and hiring these guys or buying waypoints or doing things like that? And that, along with forward-facing sonar, that along with more people on the water, all of these other factors that are thrown into that pot, and people are tending to want to pick one thing out of the pot and say that is the reason. This and this alone is the reason. So that's what I would say. What do you think about that, Joe Winkler? Want to hear your opinion on that? Because as a tournament director, I know there's guys that are out there hiring guides, which can relate. I mean, it can translate into getting those bigger bags that you're referring to. All right, CT says Campbell J fishing. Yeah, it does, but use it as fuel. All right, then we have Snoop checking in. Snoop says live imaging is good on lakes, but not on tidal grass rivers like the Potomac. Yeah, so it's not going to always help you out. And guys, what I did is I went ahead and dropped the link in the chat. So if anybody wants to come up and just voice their opinion real quick, I'll give you about 1 minute on the first point, which is live imaging is the same as your trolling motor, power poles, etc. If not, maybe some guys are holding out for some of the other points in here. All right, let me just scroll through. I see some other people checking in that I haven't pulled them up before. All right, Shimano Shane, what's going on? Glad to have you in the chat. Haven't seen you for a while. Says personally, using Mega Live puts you at a disadvantage with all its issues. Uh-oh. He's saying it's gonna mess you up. You might as well not even use it. All right, let's see. All right, shout out to Mike Murphy. We have a angler of the year checking in. What is going on? We have Mike Murphy checking in. All right, he says they probably said the same thing when sonar first came out, and it just comes down to who can afford it and the ones who can't. So yeah, with each piece of technology, I think people are going to say, yeah, this is a major game changer. And, you know, there's going to always be something that comes out that people are going to have an issue with. All right, then we have George Jones checking in. He says, hi, guys, love the broadcast. All right, really, really appreciate you tuning in and checking out the live stream. All right, so yeah, the poll changed just a little bit, but yeah, it's 70% that disagree with that statement. All right, and let's see. Let me get one or two more in here. Yeah, we have some new people checking in, so really appreciate it, guys. So yeah, it's just a Saturday night. Normally we do Tuesdays at 8 p.m., but I am going to start doing more live stream, guys, and start putting out more videos. So more content is going to be on the way. Make sure you guys hit the like button on the way in. The likes are looking a little bit better, but you know, can I get about 3 more likes? If you haven't hit the like button yet, just can I get 3 more people to hit that like button for me? Really, really appreciate that. All right. Dodie Fishing says, Joseph, it was a promo Mercury trolling motor. I had the only prop in Oklahoma. All right. So that's when that trolling motor went out. All right. So let's see what else we have in here, guys. I'm just going to hop through real quick. All right. So what is that? Stephen Smith Outdoor says, I hypothesized that Randy would never have never had a problem with forward-facing sonar if more people had it. Am I reading that right? All right, then Mike Murphy says you have to catch the fish. All right, so Mike Murphy, basically his point is just because you see them doesn't mean you can catch them. All right, so that's what Mike Murphy is saying. All right, guys, let's go ahead and get into the number 2 statement on his list. Just go ahead and swap this up real quick. All right, so number 2 on the list, and then I'm going to drop the poll again on this number 2 to see if you guys agree or disagree. All right, so just bear with me. Let me pull that up. All right, here we go. Let's go to number 2.
In reacting to different type of scenarios and lures, that is not even in the same universe as some type of a jerk bait, or equating a musket with an atomic bomb or something like that. It's ridiculous.
All right, here we go. Number 2.
4 is you got to adapt or get left behind. Again, there's a hint of arrogance with this particular point that people bring up a lot. I hear this a lot. It's like, Randy, you're a dinosaur. Your time has passed you. You need to adapt or get left behind. You're going to get your butt kicked. All that type of stuff. That right there is basically saying you need to take a seat. You need to sit down and shut up if you don't like the way it is. Now, the only way that we can make positive change in anything in our society is that you have to recognize the problem. You have to bring a problem to light, and then you have to come up with a solution to that problem. And for somebody to say, just because you don't agree with forward-facing sonar and the dangers behind it and all the misnomers behind it, that you should just, if you don't adapt, you're going to get left behind. Like I said, there's a I don't know. It's like a sense. It's a sense of arrogance combined with like the inability to see both sides of the situation. So that's one that I hear quite a bit too. Number 3 is you can't stop technology.
All right, so here we go. So that was number 4 reason. So he's counting down from 4, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So number 4, I'm just adding the poll question in here, guys. So adapt or get left behind. Do you agree or disagree? All right, so the first one was 70% disagreed with the first one. So 70% of you guys agreed with Randy on his first point. All right, so on the second one, let's go ahead and add that poll in there. So the poll is now active, and the question is, do you agree that you have to adapt or get left behind? Do you agree or disagree with that? And then I'm going to hop back into the chat again while you guys are answering that question in the poll. And once again, want to give a shout out to the current sponsor of the live stream. It is, let's see, who was it? Edward Ragsdale Fishing. If you take a look at the banner at the bottom, you will see it scrolling down there. It says, special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Edward Ragsdale Fishing. He was the sponsor of the last live stream. So that carries over into this live stream until someone sends over a Cash App or super chat to support the channel, because this channel is supported by you guys, the viewers. All right. So I see you getting active in the chat. Okay. All right. All right. That is pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. All right. So once we get up to around 25 to 30, yeah, 25 to 30 votes in there. Oh, yeah, it's moving. You guys are getting active. I see that scale just moving all around in here while you guys are putting the and what I'll do, I will go ahead and drop the link again. So with each one of these questions, if it hits you and you want to come in here and you want to voice your opinion on one of these questions, feel free to hit that link. I will set the timer, bring you up for about 1 to 2 minutes, let you voice your opinion on it, drop you down, and then we will keep moving on along, because these are interactive. So we get interactive in the chat. We bring up the polls, and I will actually bring you up live on the screen so you guys can get active on the screen with me and, voice your opinion so everybody can see and hear what you have to say. All right, so let's see what else we have in here. While you guys are doing that, I'm just in here in the chat. All right, I see you guys in here, interacting with each other, networking. All right, Joe Winkler says, agree, I'm a prime example. So yeah, what are you guys talking? But I'm interested in hearing what you think about the things I was saying, that it's, how do you know that it is forward-facing sonar? How do you know that these guys aren't, now there's more people out here and the competition is more? So now these guys are going out here and hiring guides, because I know guides out here on this lake that's close by me, and there are tournament fishermen that are hiring these guides, and the guides will say, yeah, they will hold, when they take the guys that are in the tournaments out, they will hold, the guide themselves will hold the fish up that were being caught for their advertisement, but they will not put the face of the anglers in the pictures that are actually out there catching the fish and that the guides are helping out. So like I said, I think it's more than just forward facing sonar. How would you know that it's just forward facing sonar that is making this difference? It may be the only thing that you can visually see and that you're hearing, but how do you know that there are some unknown things that are going on that could be contributing to it? All right. And let's see. Rob Fish says, I don't think you can get left behind. You can jump into the LiveScope game anytime and be fine. Yeah, there's going to be a learning curve, though, because I can tell you from the questions and comments that I get sometimes, there's some people out there that do not know how to use electronics, whether it's sonar, even mapping. Once you start seeing certain things, it seems like it's common sense. It seems very easy once you get to a certain point. But there's some things about it that is still difficult for a lot of people to grasp and start trying to understand, especially when you are not used to using that technology. So I do understand what you're saying, but I would bet that you probably know how to use it already. And sometimes we will forget, that there are people out there that even if you go and show them some things and then try to sit back and watch them and have them just try to do what you just showed them, they still will not be able to repeat that. And so just think, if there's somebody who has no one showing them and they're out there trying to use their electronics and things like that with nobody showing them anything. Because I've been on the boat with somebody that they didn't know the difference between the land and the water on their sonar screen. They were telling me that maybe they didn't know that I knew how to read electronics, but what they were explaining to me was actually land instead of the water. They didn't know where the bottom of the lake was or anything, but in their mind, from them talking to me, they were confident that they knew what they were saying. And yeah, it was their boat, and I could tell that they may not have really wanted my thoughts on what they were saying. So I just kind of listened. I did watch that mapping to make sure we didn't run into the land that they thought was water, but other than that, I didn't really say too much. All right, then Joseph says 100%. If you don't use what is available, you are not competitive. All right, so Joseph, he agrees with that statement. So Randy does not agree with that statement. He does not agree that you either adapt or get left behind. So he does not agree with that. And so right now, the majority of you are disagreeing with Randy on this one. All right, so he may be 1-1. All right, so adapt or get left behind. Right now, we have 78% of you agree with that you either adapt or get left behind. And we have 22% that say that they do not agree with it. I guess you will not get left behind if you don't adapt. Maybe that's what you guys mean by that. If anybody has put that they disagree with that statement, what do you mean? What does that mean to you when someone says, hey, I mean, what's a piece of technology now that people use on a regular basis that some people do not use? Like some people, I mean, maybe some people are riding bikes versus driving a car. Let's just throw that one out there. So some people may say, hey, you either drive this car, you're going to get left behind. I'll get to work way before you do. I can be more productive and everything like that. So since I'm being more productive, I'm getting to work faster. I have a little more energy than you because I'm not getting up an hour or 2 hours earlier and having to, exert all the extra energy. I don't know. I'm just trying to put something out there. But what do you guys, what are your thoughts when you say you do not agree with either adapt or get left behind? What do you think about that? All right. And like I said, the link is in the chat. If anybody did want to click on it, just kind of voice your opinion on that. All right. And again, so we're sitting at 19 votes. So, I'm just giving you guys a little bit of time to get active on that poll. And while you're doing that, let me hop back into the chat, see what else we have in here. All right. So Harry says, disagree with Randy on this one. It's his personal choice. Does he still use payphones or landlines to make calls, or an old flip phone? I know some people that still use flip phones. All right, hold on. Let me change something up real quick, guys. Yeah, so I know some people that still use flip phones. All right, DJ Polly says, I agree. So after years of not adapting, I finally did. All right, so let's see. So you agree that you either adapt or get left behind. So who disagrees with that? I want to hear a comment from somebody who disagrees with adapt or get left behind. All right, so that's what I'm kind of looking for. Dodie Fisher says you still have to find the winning fish whether you see them or not. That is true. That is true. All right. Joseph says a 1960 Skeeter with a 50 horsepower Merc, a flasher with a paddle, no trolling motor, and 3 rods isn't going to be competitive on an Elite Series event. Ooh, yeah, that's kind of ugly. It'll take you a long time to get to where you're going. And if you hit too many of those big wakes out there, you might not make it back. All right. So I agree with that. Camel J Fisher says he sees both sides. Really? I refuse to adapt. Therefore, I will badmouth the tech and try to force it out of the sport. Okay. All right. CT says Campbell exactly what I'm saying. Okay, so you guys are agreeing with each other. All right. So Stephen Smith Outdoor says it's more people, no doubt about it. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. That gets thrown into the pot. So you could throw forward facing sonar into this big pot and you're just mixing all the stuff in there. You're throwing more people, millions of more people is what you're throwing into that pot. You're throwing forward facing sonar in there. You're throwing more boats on the water because when we're talking about these millions of people, it's not just people that are tournament fishing. The majority of them are fishing from the bank. It's like that pot has so many things in it. How can somebody just pick one thing out of that pot and say, this is the reason why there's so much change? All right. Joe Winkler says, I don't know of any guides on our tournament waters these days. Okay. All right. So are you saying that if you don't know any guys, do you think that is there a chance that any of these guys could be using guides and getting information from other people now that there's more competition out there? I mean, not saying that it's a bad thing. I mean, there are some people who definitely look at it and say that's a bad thing. Like, hey, I'm not really competing against you if you're going out there using a guide. Other people see it as like, hey, I want to learn these new techniques. Some people are using it specifically like, hey, I do want to win this tournament, so I'm going to go get a guide. But the rules may or may not allow it. So if they're staying in the guidelines, then hey. But yeah, so I'm just saying that is something that can be thrown into that pot. Like, how can you specifically say that it is because forward-facing sonar is this demon that is causing that when there's so many other things that have been thrown into that pot, especially since COVID? Because live imaging has been out since what, guys? Wasn't it like 2015, 16, something like that? So it was well before COVID. But what was it? Humminbird just happened to be the last one to come on the scene around that time, I believe. But before that, LiveScope had been out for a while. All right, then Joseph says at MoneyBass, let's see. A lot of tools, baits, and techniques are different for a lot of people, not just forward-facing sonar. All right. DJ Polly says, I went from making checks and making regionals and going to the All-American to being a hard head and falling behind. Okay, so yeah, so you're saying, hey, you either adapt or get left behind. You're saying you know that from experience. All right, so the poll is still inching up, guys. We have 22 votes. Just trying to see if we can get 25 to 30 votes, and then we'll move on to the next one. Again, I dropped the link in the chat just in case anybody feels like coming up. And yeah, so I'm moving along, getting caught up in the chat. All right, Joe Winkler says Randy uses a smartphone to do all his videos. Oh yeah, that is a good way to do it. Quick and simple. You don't have to worry about all this extra stuff. But yeah, so I understand what you're saying. That's technology. All right, Harry says stop talking about the Hawk and or DP and their flip phones. Uh-oh, DP, are you rolling around with that flip phone? All right, Big Ivy Fishing, shout out to the Money Team. Really, really appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. He says, that's what I mean. I know that it's like a video game to me. So it's just like I got any edge. Some don't get it like others do. I feel like I'm getting over. All right, so you're using live imaging. I think that's what you're saying. That's what I mean. I know that it's like a video game to me. So it's just like I got, okay, so you got an edge. Okay, so you're saying you know how to use it and you can see that it gives you an advantage. But yeah, I mean, any piece of equipment that you have that you add that somebody does not have, in reality, it gives you an advantage. Even if you don't have a trolling, if you have a trolling motor and somebody else doesn't, if you have a 250 and somebody else has a 50, if you have a 18-inch boat, somebody else has a 21, because that 18 is not going to cut through those waves the same. And that person with the 18 knows their limitations. So there's things that they're not going to do. So for me, unless everybody is on an equal playing field, when people are saying, yeah, it's the the integrity of the sport and all of that stuff. Because the thing that I remember is a while back, the anglers would show up, they would give the anglers the same, I believe they gave them, well, I know they gave them the same boat motor, things like that. I can't remember if they gave them the same baits and everything. But for me, unless they're doing all of that, then it's not really a contest to see who is the best angler. Because if one person has better equipment, whether it's rods, reels, line, baits, somebody's out here with $25 to $30 baits and somebody else has $5 baits, that's an advantage. So it really isn't a true head-to-head test to see who is the best angler if one person has better equipment than the other person. That's just kind of the way that I see it. All right, so Joseph says, Harry, let's see, if we're going there, does Hawk's glasses count as loggers or forward-facing sonar? Who is saying this? I knew it was Joseph. He says, have you seen them? Now, see, Hawk isn't here to defend himself, but I can't believe you turned on Hawk. I thought y'all were from the same state down there. All right, let's see. Bottom Line Outdoor says, are we saying tech outweighs knowledge and instincts? That's an interesting question. So if somebody has knowledge and instincts, somebody without knowledge and instincts, but now this person has that tech and they know how to use it versus this person that has knowledge and instincts, who will win? Who would win? I think the technology. I would think the tech. That would be an interesting question. So Bottom Line Outdoors. I'll do a. Let me see if I remember. You guys know sometimes I forget to do stuff, but let me see. What is that question? Tech versus knowledge. I would be interested to know what you guys think. I think the tech would win. That is what I would think. Because when we start talking tech, we're talking about better rods, better reels, better lures, better boats. Tech is all of that stuff in a sense to me, because technology are those advancements. So somebody that's old school that doesn't have any advancement versus somebody who has that advanced stuff. Yeah, I think that the technology is going to win. All right, so Big Ivy Fishing says yes. I'm not sure what question that was. All right. So we're sitting at 24 votes, guys. So once we get a few more votes in here, then we're going to move to the third item on the list. All right, let's see who else we have in here. All right, so all I'm doing now, guys, is just kind of going through the chat. Shout out to Mako Mills. He says forward-facing sonar, forward-facing is a game changer. I went out fishing with money recently, and I promise you guys, it's a totally different game of fishing. I'm telling you, it changed my frame of mind. Oh, yeah. I ruined Mako. Mako's life is not the same anymore. It is just not the same. He cannot unsee what he saw. So that is basically what he's saying, guys. All right, let's see who else we have in here. Yeah, just waiting for a few more votes. Mako, did you already vote on the poll? The poll is basically that you either have to adapt or get left behind with technology. And basically, we're saying with forward-facing sonar. That's kind of what we're talking about. Do you adapt or get left behind? Do you agree with that statement or do you disagree? All right, so Harry says, I don't think so. I think it cuts down on finding fish or eliminating dead water. Doesn't mean they are going to bite. So Harry says, hey, man, just because you see them doesn't mean you're going to catch them. That's what you're saying, Harry. All right, so Stephen Smith Outdoors says, Randy preaches the nuances of fishing and how it is great, and how great it is for folks, but wants the lake to himself. Go figure. He can't just come out and say that, so uses forward-facing sonar as a scapegoat. Yeah, I mean, people have differences of opinions on why people may or may not be saying certain things. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you just have to take it at face value. Maybe they really do have the opinions and, you know, and mean what they say whenever they're saying certain things. But yeah, I mean, it's true. You never really know. And yeah, you just never know. All right. So Dodie Fishing says tech versus technology means nothing without application. Yeah. So once you learn that tech, you do have to apply it. Tech versus technology. All right. Big Ivy Fishing says tech will win hands down. All right, one more. We have DJ Polly says we all have instinct, but try fishing against Jordan Lee and Ryan Salzman and several others in the choo-choo with all the tech and you. Let me see. And you with none. Am I saying that right? All tech and you with none. I promise you, it's no contest. Oh yeah. So those guys, yeah. When you start fishing on that pro level, it's like I just don't understand how they are able to do what they're able to do, guys. All right. So Mako Mill says, yes, I voted. Then we have Willie Allen says that example doesn't work because if you can't find the fish, you can't catch them. So which example are you saying doesn't work, Willie Allen? All right. I'll wait for that. And then I will, yeah, we have enough votes now. So I'll wait to see. So he said that example doesn't work. Just curious to see which example that was. All right. So Gopher Hayes says, oh, what's going on? Shout out to Gopher Hayes. Checking into the live stream. Says, if I see them, I'm going to catch them. Come on. Come on, Gopher Hayes. You're saying if you see them, you're going to catch them? I need to see this. I need to see this. And what lake are you fishing that if you see them, you're just catching them? I don't know anybody that's doing that besides maybe Chicken Hawk. All right. All right. So let's see. So Willie J. Allen Jr. says that example doesn't work because if you can't find the fish, you can't catch them. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to think if there's any sense where that doesn't work. But yeah, if there are no fish there, then you can't catch what's not there. So yeah, so if there aren't fish there, then yeah, you're not going to catch anything. All right, so now let's see. So that was number 4 on the list. We're counting down 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We're on number 4. So number 4 says you either adapt or get left behind. 85% agree with that statement. And 15% disagree and say you will not get left behind if you don't adapt. So you cannot adapt and you won't get left behind is the way that I'm reading that. So, all right. So you guys disagree with Randy on that one. So the first one, you guys agree with Randy. So on the, let me see, I wrote that wrong. All right. So on the second one, adapt to get left behind, you guys disagreed with that one. All right. So let's see what else we have in here. We have DJ Polly says, let's see. No, them guys fish the BFL Choo-Choo division. Oh yeah, some of those pros, they're sneaking in there, you know, and banging it out on those Choo-Choo divisions and things like that. All right, let's see. Let's see. All right, guys, there we go. Just had to answer a quick question real quick. All right, let's see. Let's see. So now, so that was number 4 on the list. So let's go ahead and pull it back up and let's move to number 3. Let's head out to number 3. All right, so here we go. Willie J. Allen Jr. says, I'm a professional photographer. I can guarantee you if I give you my camera gear and I pick up my iPhone, I can make better photos than you. Oh yeah, I believe it. I mean, I've seen people shoot all kind of amazing stuff, video and everything with those iPhones. And I understand your point that even if you could probably those little cameras that you buy from Walmart and you have to turn the little dial to move it to the next one. I'm pretty sure that someone, because you're a professional. So yeah, with that professional skill, there are going to be things that you just know that other people aren't going to know. So I definitely agree with that. All right. And then let's see. And so in that same sense, just think of a regular person trying to fight against a trained, skilled boxer. That boxer could let you go at them 100%. They could block. I mean, they could see all of the openings when every time you swing. It's like it's just on another level whenever you're comparing somebody against a professional in whatever that person's profession is. All right, let's see what else we have. So Big Ivy Fishing says, what if someone gets on the water with a jammer and it can cover 360 degrees at 10,000 square feet? Oh my goodness. Big Ivy Fishing is coming in with the heat. He said he's going to get a jammer on his boat and shut down all electronics. Oh my goodness. All right, then let's see. Who is this? We have what is that? Let's just say X Dark coming in. Let's see. I bet all the sonar companies will not sponsor Randy in the future. I mean, he could get a sonar sponsor, possibly, maybe. All right, DJ Polly says, I don't make excuses, I adapt. All right, so yeah, you're saying you learn from experience. You're not going to adapt. You're not going to get left behind. All right, let's see. And then X Darkness says, that's not a valid point, Francis. Nagano, first professional fight against Fury. I believe he won, and so did everybody else. He is not a first-time boxer. He was a trained boxer already. Am I right or am I wrong? And he is a trained fighter. So he is not only a trained boxer, but he is a trained fighter. So he was not just coming out of the blue like the guys that have been fighting. What is his name? Logan Paul. Like how he's picking people that were not boxers. They weren't trained boxers, but I think Francis was an actual trained boxer. Somebody look that up and let me know what boxing skills did Francis have, because I remember somebody mentioned that and they said that he was a trained boxer, but I believe before he was doing MMA. All right. Then we have, let's see who else we have checking in here. So we have CT says that Willie J. Allen Jr. from a photographer here too. I get exactly what you mean. A noob can have their gear and we'll stomp them. That's right. So yeah, like I said, I think if a professional photographer can get those little paper, those little cheap cameras that you get from Walmart where you have to turn the little dial to advance to the next picture. Wait a minute, guys. Stop the show. We have a sponsor of the live stream. Really, really appreciate that. Joe Winkler. He says, great podcast, MoneyBass. Really, really appreciate that. Yeah, guys, I try to each week bring value to you guys. Some value and entertainment makes things, just lighten things up a little bit, have some fun with it. But let me get in here and do some work each week. Like I say, whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker, is the sponsor of the live stream. So want to give a big thank you to Edward Ragsdale Fishing. Make sure you guys go and check out his channel. He was the sponsor of the last live stream. So right now, Joe Winkler stepping in strong. Really, really appreciate it. Big supporter of the channel and always getting active in the chat. Always makes it interesting. All right, so let's hop back into the chat real quick. All right, but really, really appreciate that. Joe Winkler. He is running, he's a tournament director out there doing his thing. So he knows a lot about this, about this info. But yeah, like I said, Joe, I'm interested in knowing, like, what is it that, makes you feel that it is forward facing sonar and not all of the other things with the big changes that happened with COVID? Because that was, I mean, if you start looking at the numbers and the, I think, what is that? Bass Fishing HQ or IQ or something like that. They did some studies. They pulled up studies that were done as far as the numbers of new fishermen and new, just all of the change, those big changes that happened that kind of changed the game in the fishing industry itself since COVID. But yeah, so big shout out to Joe Winkler. Really, really appreciate it. Always adding some interest and insight to the live streams. All right, let's see who else we have in here. All right. Let's see. Yeah, so I'm interested to see. So did anybody find out what type of boxing skills Francis had prior to MMA or prior to fighting Tyson Fury? All right. Yeah, kind of a side topic, but you know, it's still interesting. All right, let's see what else we have, guys. Let's see what else we have. All right, CT. Okay, I got CT's comment. All right, guys. All right, so the next one that we were going to do. So let me just read this poll that we had. So this one was adapt or get left behind, and 85% of you guys agreed with that one. All right, so this one you agree with Randy. On this one you disagree. So now let's go ahead and head down to point number 3. But before we do that, let's see, what does Mako Mills have to say? He says, that's a good point. You definitely need to learn how to use the equipment effectively for the ROI. Okay, Mako's a money man talking about return on investment that you're looking for. All right, let's see what else we have in here. All right, so Rob Fish says he had boxing skills. And so that's what I heard also. So he wasn't just a regular MMA fighter stepping into the boxing ring with Tyson Fury. All right, let's see. All right, so just bear with me. Let me just pull it back up again, guys. And now we will hop into the next one. Okay, here we go. Let's see what else he had to say. Let me drop this down. All right, so number three.
The inability to see both sides of the situation. So that's one that I hear quite a bit too. Number 3 is you can't stop technology. Yeah, you can stop technology because technology, as far as live scope and forward-facing sonar in the fishing industry, it has nothing to do with advancing or stopping technology. It has everything to do with money. Guys, if these electronic companies were not shoveling large amounts of cash into Bassmaster and MLF and other tournament organizations, live scope and forward-facing sonar would not be a thing. If somebody came out, and I've always said this, and I'll stand behind it, till the end. If I won the lottery, $500 million tomorrow, and I went to Bassmaster and MLF, and I say, guys, here's a contract right here for a 5-year contract. I'm going to pay you $5 million a year. Intuitive Angling is going to be a sponsor of a Bassmaster, but the stipulation is that anglers will only be allowed to use a 2D sonar unit and a GPS. They're going to have to get rid of all their live scope, all their forward-facing sonar. You know what would happen the next year? Every Elite Series Pro out there would just have a 1 2D sonar unit on their console, one up front. So yeah, you can't stop it when it doesn't have to think it's money. Number 2, it's
All right, so there we go. All right, did you guys hear that one okay? I want to make sure that the volume was right. Did you guys hear the number 3? I didn't check with you first to make sure that the sound was good. Just put yes, I heard it if you guys were able to hear the third one. And basically it was that you can't stop technology. Did you guys hear that? Waiting to see. Comments are moving a little slow, guys. Let me refresh my screen real quick. All right, appreciate that. You guys hitting me with the 1. Rob Fish says, yes, I heard it. All right, and real quick, X Dark says he never had a professional boxing fight. Gotcha. Yeah, so I understand what you're saying, but he was a trained boxer though. Those other people that I think that Logan Paul and stuff like that those guys were fighting, I don't believe any of them were trained boxers, except for that one that I think he ended up losing once he did fight a trained boxer. All right. So now the next question, the poll is already up. You can't stop technology. Who agrees that you can't stop technology? And who disagrees? So Randy said that you cannot stop technology. And there was something else there was a point that he had made in here. Let me just play that one while you guys are getting active in the poll, and I'll just keep an eye on the chat real quick, but I just want to play it again real quick. But he says you can't stop technology. Let's listen to that one again.
Stipulation is that anglers will only be allowed to use a 2D sonar unit and a GPS. They're going to have to get rid of all their live scope here. Intuitive Angling is going to be till the end. If I won the lottery, the $500 million
Okay, here we
master
go.
in MLF and other tournament organizations, lies that these electronic companies have nothing to do with advancing or stopping technology. It has everything to do with money. Guys, if these electronic companies were not shoveling large amounts of cash into Bassmaster and MLF and other tournament organizations, LiveScope and forward-facing sonar would not be a thing. If somebody came out, and I've always said this, and I'll stand behind it, till the end. If I won the lottery, the $500 million tomorrow, and I went to Bassmaster and MLF, and I say, guys, here's a contract right here for a 5-year contract. I'm going to pay you $5 million a year. Intuitive Angling is going to be a sponsor of a Bassmaster, but the stipulation is that anglers will only be allowed to use a 2D sonar unit and a GPS. They're going to have to get rid of all their live scope, all their forward-facing sonar. You know what would happen the next year? Every Elite Series Pro out there would just have a 2D sonar unit on their console, one up front. So yeah, you can't stop it when it doesn't have to think it's money.
All right, so there we go, guys. So who agrees with that? So the next one is the poll is already up, and I see you guys are already getting active. You can't stop technology. Who agrees with that? And so I do agree that, yeah, if he had $1 billion and he went to a company, remember these fishing industries, those are companies. If he went to a company and said, I am going to fund your whole company and change it. And I remember somebody in the past said that, hey, if he funds a tournament where they can only use cast nets, then yes, that company, that if they want those funds, which companies do, because they have they have investors and things that they have to put money to, they have to get those returns to those investors. So yeah, I mean, that argument goes with any company. That's kind of the way that I see it. So yeah, it's definitely a money thing. So for me, in my opinion, the fishing industry is a marketing platform, the same way that your TV shows and TV channels, all of those businesses are marketing platforms. They want sponsor dollars. So it's kind of something to me where I have noticed that people do not realize what the fishing industry really is. They think that it's about fishing. I don't think the fishing industry, the companies, are about fishing. They are about dollars. They're about those sponsor dollars, about making money. Because if it's all only about fishing, take all of the money away from it, take all of this extra stuff from it, and go back to when we were just kids or when we were growing up. For me, true fishing, even when we're talking about all this technology and everything, was back whenever I would get up in the morning. Me and my friends, we would get up, we would take some shovels, we would go and see who could dig up, would get their worms and fill their cups up with worms. We'd head out to the creeks or whatever lakes we could find out in the woods, and we would start fishing and seeing who would catch fish. To me, that's 100% skill level right there. If anybody even had a boat, we would just dream of getting on a boat. Like, wow, they can get on a boat and go fishing. We don't have that luxury. So for me, it's just completely different. So it's like that argument to me, it kind of that's not what the fishing industry is, in my opinion. It's not about fishing. It's because now you're dealing with companies, you're dealing with profit and losses and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't really have anything to do with fishing itself. Whether somebody can go out and catch a 20-pound bag doesn't really have anything to do with whether they can get $100,000 in sponsorship money so that they can even fish. So it's like a whole different type of argument. But what do you guys think? Can you stop technology? Well, you can't stop technology. Who agrees with you can't stop technology? All right, you guys voted kind of quick on that one. All right, so let me hop back into the chat while a few more of you guys are answering that question. You can't stop technology. Let me see what I think about that. Can you stop technology? I would say yes, you can stop technology. So I agree with Randy on that one. You can stop technology. Funding dollars can stop technology. The same way that they're pushing towards what was it, electric vehicles versus there was something else. Goodness, there was a way that you could actually power vehicles using I can't remember what it was, but it was not using like the batteries, that electric. There was something else that was competing against that. And they were able to put more funding into the electric and push the technology that way. And this other technology started falling behind. So you can't stop technology. I disagree with that. Randy disagrees with that. And right now, only 11% of you disagree with that. So most of you do not agree with me. You do not agree with Randy, and you do not agree with the other 11%. So I think that you can stop technology where, depending on where you put the funding into it at. So with that one, you guys disagreed with Randy, but you disagree with me on that one too. So I think that you can stop technology based on funding if they push that funding someplace else. Because just think about it. If those industries were to say, like you said, if somebody was to come and say, hey, I see that in order for them to sell these electronics, that they need people to buy them. So we need the marketing in the MLF and the BASS and all these other industries. But now somebody comes along and says, hey, I'm going to put 3 times as much money into these other industries. If you do not use these electronics, if you do not push them, and now they are not going to have the fund because they're not going to get the returns, and that will still kind of die down. So I agree that you can stop technology if you remove the funding or you divert the funding in a different direction. All right, so so that's kind of interesting. I had to think about that one because at first I was like, yeah, you can't stop technology, but actually you can. You can just divert the funds in a different direction. It would be no different than if you're trying to do something within a city or a community and you're thinking that you're trying to go this way, but they take that funding away. That idea or that thing that was going to be done is now going to die because they diverted those funds into something else. So I would say that, yes, you can stop technology. Kind of interesting one right there, guys. What do you think about that? All right, so let me see. And so I dropped the link in the chat again. So that one is interesting. That one is kind of interesting to me, guys. All right, so let's see. Let's see what you guys had to say. All right, so Joseph says you can't stop it. Sure, ban it in BASS or MLF, but I'm an American. Randy can. Goodness, Joseph, what is going on, Joseph? I'm gonna run what's available if I can afford it. Oh my goodness, Joseph. All right, CT says I couldn't hear it through my own screaming, but the volume was fine. All right, so yeah, CT, what do you think? You can't stop technology, can you? Do you think you can stop technology, or do you think technology can't be stopped? All right, let's see. DJ Polly says I work at the railroad. You can't stop it. You can't stop technology. What if when they were making those railroads and putting all of that funding into the railroads, that funding was taken away and it was diverted into something else other than railroads, and that technology would fizzle out. It would die if there was something else that the funds were being put into it. So I think you can stop technology with funding. All right, so Mako says yes. I think he's saying that yes, you can stop technology. I don't know, Mako. Is that what you're saying? All right, Dodie Fisher says the government can stop anything. Can stop anything fun. Oh my goodness. Said the government can stop anything fun. All right, so Willie J. Allen Jr. says yes. All right, so I guess you're saying you can stop technology. All right, Rob Fish says you can't stop tech. There needs to be a no electronics professional circuit. Hey, I have some ideas on that one. I have some ideas on people, people will be able to do whatever they want to do. So yeah, I have some things that I'm working on, guys. So we'll see. But yeah, I think, that would be an easy solution. I think Randy actually has enough backing to where he could make a trail or a circuit to where people are just fishing that way. That would be kind of interesting just to hear him put something together like that. All right, Joseph says there's a huge difference in what the rules of a tournament series are for a competition and what is available to the sport and industry. All right, Joseph. All right, then X Dark says Paul fought Nate Diaz, who spars with professional fighters all the time in the boxing world. Let me see. Who is that? Logan Paul. Yeah, see, I don't know too much about it. I don't know too much about the the background of all of them. But I know that a lot of people thought that Francis had no boxing background. That's all I was saying, is that he did have a boxing background. It would be different if he was, because there was a guy that it was either Logan Paul or Jake Paul. I think the first guy that he fought, he was a wrestler or something like that. He was not known for having any boxing background at all. So that was not Francis's situation. That's all I was saying, that he did have some type of boxing background. All right, then John says, let me see, Randy needs to retire. Hey man, as long as you can get out there and enjoy life, do what you enjoy, you can still hang in there just a little bit. All right, go for Hayes says, I love forward facing sonar, planning on running 2 live scopes. Oh my goodness, running 2 transducers next year, but I don't like watching it in live tournaments. Hey, so go for Hayes. I'd be interested in seeing what you think about the format that I've been doing, because I do I run some live format tournaments that are similar to MLF, but we have a twist in ours that I think even if somebody's running live forward facing sonar, it still makes it pretty interesting. All right, but yeah, check that out on my channel. Check out MoneyBass Battle of the Anglers. All right, then we have, let's see, X Dark says, yes, he needs to retire. Hey, man, you can still get out there and do your thing as long as you can still catch some fish. All right, let me see. Don't worry about it's changing so fast, he will have to. All right, let's see. Joe Winkler says, was and is and always will be about selling product. Yeah, so I think when people start getting into talking about the fishing industry, what do you guys think? Is the fishing industry really about fishing, or is it about the marketing and dollars? Is it about the business? So it kind of reminds me of the music business, how you have artists that feel like they're always getting the short end of the stick because they're artists, but they're not business minded first. They're artists first. They want to focus on their craft and everything, but the record labels are there to make money. So record labels are not necessarily about the music, they're about the returns. If there's something else that makes a better return within that, they were going to shift towards that. So that's kind of what I'm saying on that. All right, let's see, where were we at, guys? Okay, you guys are moving now. All right, and so you can't stop technology. So 90% of you agree that you cannot stop technology. And I disagree with that one. I disagree. And only 10% disagree. So me, Randy, and 10% of you guys disagree. But 90% are saying, y'all don't know what you're talking about. X Darkness says, I run Mega 360 and Garmin Live Scope with a 34, and I want the 52. Wait a minute. Do they have a 52? I've heard of the 34. I haven't heard of a 52. All right. So Stephen Smith Outdoor says, well, the technology would exist, so would always progress towards what would be possible through advancements. But that said, could be bought and shelved. Right. Yeah. I mean, because they've done that before. There's technology that companies have bought and just shelved it that you guys don't even know exists, because they've done that with the goodness, I was going to say, well, it's not websites and apps or something, but it's companies out there that have done that. They have bought they see some technology that's coming that would mess up what they are currently doing. Even though that technology could be better, they buy it out and then they shelve it. And even the person that's selling it may not realize that they're just going to shelve it. But once they own it, there's nothing that they can do. And it's a done deal. So I would say you can definitely stop technology and make it to where people don't even know about it. All right, Rob Fish says, I think Randy is definitely affecting how people feel about forward facing sonar. That is definitely true. That is definitely true. All right, so Willie J Allen says, I agree. CT says, I'm having to keep. All right, Big Ivy Fishing says, the water card, they killed that man. What is that? I'm not sure what you guys are talking about with that one. Joseph says, lace them gloves tight, cerebral tackle. Number 2 is coming up just 30 minutes away. Come on, Joseph. All right, I'm trying to get it moving. You can win in tournaments, but you can't stop it for the public. Yeah, they can stop technology for the public too. I mean, like I said, there's things out there that you guys don't know about when these companies are out there spending these millions of dollars. I mean, just think, Joseph, if you Joe, that was Joe Winkler. If you have invented something that you have right now and you're about to put it out, and it is about to change let's say the car industry, to where that car industry is going to just make them tank and go bankrupt because of this new technology that you have created. It is better than the car industry, and it is better than the electric car industry. One of those companies find out and they come to you and they buy that out. Say they give you $50 million and buy that technology. Now they take it, destroy it, shelf it, or whatever. They have now stopped that technology and that advancement. That's basically what I'm saying. That there's things where that has been done, where they have been able to buy out that technology and just shut it down so it doesn't ruin what they already have going. All right, X Darkness says, X Darkness says his point is you can stop it in tournaments, but that isn't going to stop Garmin from making it. Gotcha. All right, Stephen Smith Outdoor says anyone who buys the patent on the technology could halt it. The oil companies are notorious for it, and we have had it done. Alternative fuels decades ago. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm referring to. All right, CT says yes, you can stop tech. All right, so yeah, okay. It's changing a little bit. The poll is changing. All right, Joe Winkler says Bass banned the A-rig, but the public still buys millions of them everywhere. Right, but what if that patent or something was bought and before it was even out in the public, like they heard about this thing being done, and say it's a spinnerbait company, they're like, hey, we're not going to go out of business. We heard that Joe Winkler has invented something called the A-rig. We are going to Joe right now. He's going to sign this NDA. We're going to give him $30 million to never say anything. And if he ever does, it is going to be bad for him. And they buy that out, and now they own it. So even when somebody else tries to come out with it, it's done. So they have now stopped that technology. All right. So X Dartmouth says, I bought LiveScope and never seen a commercial for it. I've had the first Pan Optics. Yep, I remember when that first one came out. All right, so you guys are moving in the chat again. All right, so let's see. Where were we at? Let me read a few more of these real quick. So we got Mako Mills. He says, without technology, society would regress by at least 50 years. Imagine what it would be like to survive a day without technology. Makes the IT skills gap difficult to fathom. All right, CT says, nope. Mako Mills says, frankly, daily life without modern technology would be miserable. Mako is like, I am not giving up my technology. Dodie Fishing says they already have no electronics derbies on the Sand Rayburn. All right, then X Dartmouth says, my point is Randy cries about these guys who never really fish tournaments. Winning it is the same thing as Francis. Let me see. They have some sort of fishing skills or they wouldn't have ever won. Yeah, I agree with that. So yeah, just because they're using forward-facing sonar doesn't mean that they don't know what they're doing without it. All right, DJ Polly says maybe so, my brother. We will see. All right, I'm not sure what y'all are referring to on that one. All right, and so we have somebody. Let me set my timer real quick. We have somebody that wants to come in here and state the case. They're saying I can't hold my tongue anymore. I've heard all what did Popeye used to say, and I can't stand no more. All right, let's see. Let me get my clock ready on them. See what they're gonna have to say. All right, without further ado, who is this?
Yo.
We have CT. What do you have to say, CT? Let me pull it.
Man, I've been chomping at the bit so hard. I'm madder than a dog in Michael Vick's backyard.
Oh no.
I'm just over here losing my dog crap. Let me tell you something. First, yeah, you can stop technology, but it's about the dollars. And second, as far as it's another tool, I mean, yeah, it is.
Well, look, we haven't got to that one yet.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm sorry. I've done broke the chain. Okay, I've done broke the chain. I can't do it anymore. What are you doing to me, man? What are you doing to me? Yeah, you're gonna put that treat up on the counter and say, I can't reach up there and get it. Oh, please. Please.
All right, so look, this is what we'll do. I'll go ahead and go to let's go ahead and go to number 2. Let's go ahead to number 2. Let me just pull this up real quick. So we'll go ahead to number 2 and then let you voice your thoughts on it. Hold on just a second. Uh-oh, I lost my spot, guys. Oh no.
Sorry about forcing you to produce them on the fly.
Oh, not hey, it's a live show. And this was just, you know how I do. This is just, I was like, hey, let me check on my people and see how everybody's doing. All right, let's see. Let me know. Can you hear this?
Number 2, it's Randy. I hear this all the time. It's just another tool. It is.
Can you hear that?
Yep.
All right. Here we go, guys.
Money. Number 2, it's Randy. I hear this all the time. It's just another tool. It is not another tool whatsoever, guys. When you try to equate 2D sonar, down imaging, or side imaging to forward-facing sonar, again, you're not living in reality when you try to do that. Forward-facing sonar is a completely different. It's in a completely different category than its own, because 2D sonar, side imaging, down imaging like that, you do not have live images that are telegraphed immediately to the angler that can scan out in front of the boat or all different sides of the boat to actually see fish that you could not see before. There's a completely different, level of experience that you have with side imaging, down imaging, 2D sonar versus live imaging sonar. Now, I hear a lot of people say, well, where do you draw a line at? I was not happy. First of all, I don't think down imaging is much different than side imaging. So when people talk about down imaging, I don't really have a problem with that, because it's basically showing you the same thing in just a little bit different detail. Side imaging, I was not real happy about it. I had one of the first side imaging units that came out years ago. I thought that was beginning to push the bounds a little bit, but when they came out with live imaging technology, that's where it crossed the precipice for me in terms of just saying enough is enough. So if it's just another tool, then why is every tournament getting one on it? Why is literally 99% of the tournaments out there getting one with forward-facing sonar if it's just another tool, like, a different lure or a different type of a reel? It's not another tool. It's much more than another tool. And the number one.
All right, there we go. So it's just another tool. All right, and real quick. So can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, so the poll is already up, and I see you guys are getting active. So the poll says it's just another tool. Your choices are yes, it is, or no, it isn't. Is live imaging just another tool? All right, so this is what you wanted to speak on, CT, right?
Oh, yeah, it's all wrapped up into one. Yeah, it's.
Right.
I've held my tongue on there. I'll make it as good as I can. It's all wrapped up into one. Here's the deal.
All right.
I don't disagree with him on everything. However, if he's trying to come across that he's unbiased, he lost any and all credibility with the statement he just made. I mean, flushed it down the toilet. There's no clog. It went straight down. It's in the city's sewer system. Gone. Because it's every bit just another tool, as back to the old school flashers. The flashers they still use today, ice fishing. I mean, I don't care whether it's down, side, forward. It's a freaking tool. By saying that it's not a tool, it's saying I'm running scared. I don't know how to use it. I don't want my butt kicked. Well, see, that's where I've got to really hold my tongue not to get too personal on the gentleman. He doesn't need to be worried. I got to stop there. I got to be good boy.
So this is the easiest way to look at it. So we're attacking the arguments, not the person. So
I know, but it is because the argument's out of fear. The argument's out of fear and a failure to understand what the technology is. Now, as far as how it might affect to me, some people might get mad at me for this, but I don't believe it's for every species. I think it could absolutely decimate things like walleye. It could absolutely kill crappie populations without a freaking question, because it's my belief, out of all the years of studying bass, bass habitat, bass behavior, bass respond to pressured water better than other species.
Uh-oh. Hold on.
I don't know what that was. That was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, you got it. Go ahead.
So they absolutely respond better. To me, it's the only caveat there is long life mortality rates based upon, we've had long discussions about that before. That's the only catch is there. If more are caught, the long-term mortality rates, that's a different topic for a different day. But as far as will forward-facing sonar hurt bass populations, I don't think so. But do I think the brakes need to be put on for other species? Absolutely. How we do that, don't ask me, because states are not stocking lakes like they used to. People are saying, well, change the creel limits, right? The bag limits, crappie, walleye, muskie, it can murder muskie populations. They're loners as it is. There's other species that this technology can have the possibility of literally wiping off the map, and the states are not wanting to spend the money to replenish the populations as needed, and they will not spend the money to enforce whatever limits they change to try to pull back on the reins. So for that reason, does technology need to at least be slowed down? Absolutely. But when you come forth with the argument of it's not just another tool, you got to put the crack pipe down. I mean, at some point, it's too much. So he and I do agree on more than what we would generally agree on. And I understand that, and I appreciate that. But your argument can't be from one that's absolutely illogical, or it loses credibility, and it gets. You don't get fuel from other like-minded people because they hear the lack of the quality of the argument and they just turn and walk away, if that makes sense. So, but it's absolutely another tool. It really is. It's just like a Leatherman on your tool belt, man. I mean, and for some folks, they'll rely on forward-facing sonar more than others, and that's all fine and dandy. And if I had it, I would use it, but I would use it differently, I think, than most folks. But it is what it is. But as far as not being able to stop the technology, we can stop it. Greed doesn't allow it. Those are two different things. Like I know exactly what you're talking about, and some of the things that can't really be spoken about, or a lot of the general public don't know about. I know what you're saying there because I've got a bit of an insight into that world, and I'll tell you that it can be. It absolutely can be stopped on certain things. They have laid down the ban hammer, but will they? Will they use it responsibly? There's the problem. Anyway,
all right. So did you already vote in the poll?
Yes, sir, I did.
All right.
I jumped all right.
All right. Shout out to CT Cerebral Tackle. He got on here and voiced his opinion, guys. I dropped the link in the chat. So if anybody else wants to come up and state their opinion on it. So the question is, it's just another tool. Yes, it is just another tool, or no, it isn't. And so I'm pretty sure that it's just another tool. Yes. Wait a minute. Oh my goodness. Wait a minute. The poll is it's just another tool. Yes, it is just another tool. Has 83%. They're saying that yes, it is just another tool. And then 17% is saying no, it isn't. So CT, you're saying yes, it is just another poll.
Yeah,
and that
absolutely
right. And that's what's winning. All right, really appreciate you coming up. Let me get and drop you down just in case somebody else wants to come up, and we'll see what happens.
All right, thank you.
All right, appreciate you. All right, guys. All right, so we had one person go ahead and hop up here. Mako Mill says, "Hey, bring Randy on so he can defend his viewpoints." So yeah, I mean, Randy definitely knows he's always welcome to come on the show. He actually does come and get in the chat sometimes, and you never know, guys. He may be watching right now, just enjoying the show. Because I mean, we're kind of we're throwing it all out there and letting you guys kind of see who agrees, who disagrees. And so far, let me see with the first point, number 5. Let's see that it's no different. than the trolling motor and your that kind of stuff, your power poles. So you guys agreed with him on that. And then adapt or get left behind. Randy disagreed with that, but you guys basically disagreed with Randy. So he was 1-1. You guys agreed with him on one, disagreed with him on the other one. And then you can't stop tech. Most of you said that so you can't stop technology. So you guys agreed with that one. I disagreed. Randy disagreed. So basically, you guys agreed on one and disagreed on two. And now we're to the fourth one, and you guys are apparently disagreeing with him on that one too. And so for this one, is it just another tool? 85% said yes, it is just another tool. 15% are saying no, it is not just another tool. And so for me, I would say for this one, I do feel that it is just another tool. It is just the most current tool that now people are focused on. Whenever sonar came out or side imaging came out, and I remember when side imaging came out, that was like a game changer type thing, to where it was just like this big thing. So at that point, I can see why somebody would say, hey, this isn't just another tool. This is not like anything else that we have been able to use. So no, it is not just another tool, but actually in reality, it is another tool. It just happens to be better than the things that came before. It was different, but it was just viewed as something that was better because there wasn't anything else like it. So with forward facing sonar, it's kind of the same thing. It's like it came out. Now you can see down below the boat. So is it just another tool? Is it just another tool? Yes, it is just another tool. That's my opinion on that. And so 85% of you say, yes, it is just another tool. And 15% said, no, it's not. We're sitting at about 20 votes. Generally, once we're getting at around that mark, it's, it's generally where we're going to land at as far as who agrees and who disagrees. And let me hop into the chat real quick just to see where we're at. All right, let's see. So yeah, we've been rolling, guys. So I appreciate everybody for hanging in there. Just wanted to hang out with you guys, and I would just kick back a little bit. I was like, let's just have some fun and talk about one of these topics tonight. All right, so let's see. Joseph says, check the timestamp, Money. I won't be off by more than 6 minutes. I can't remember what you guys were betting on that I would go for what, 2 hours or something like that. I can't remember what it was. All right, let's see. Let me see if I can hop back in here where I didn't really miss anything, because we have one more left. So yeah, this has been pretty interesting, guys. It's been pretty fun. All right, let's see. Where are we at? All right, just trying to find my spot in the comments, guys. All right, let's see where we here. MoneyBass, your twist is your secret weapon. It's your commentator. I hear he even brings the fish in to bite. All right. Willie J. Allen Jr. says, you're coming up with outlier examples, but if you could stop technology, we wouldn't be where we are today. And so how am I coming out with an outlier? If there's technology that has been invented, if the technology is going in this direction, and there's some technology that could change that is better than the current technology, but it is bought out and hidden from you to where you never even know about it, that is how you stop technology. So how would that be an outlier? How would that be an outlier? If you can actually stop the technology by buying it out and crushing it and just removing it to where it doesn't even exist. It's not even being pushed. So I would say that is a legitimate way to stop technology. So I would say, yes, you can stop technology that way. But how would that be an outlier? All right, Dodie Fishing says it's always about the money. You are either spending it or making it. Go for Hayes says, what about Viewers versus Chicken Hawk series? Oh my goodness. So I will be doing something. I'll put something together, and I want you guys to reach out to me. Anybody that is what wants to, whenever I do another On the Water live, if you want to be on the water and I can pull you up while you are fishing and I am fishing, we'll all be on the same screen. We can kind of talk to each other and everything, see what we're catching, see what we're not catching. that is something that I'm putting together, guys. So if you're interested in that, make sure you send me a message on my Instagram. Send me a message on Instagram. My Instagram is @officialmoneybass. And that way I can keep track of who's interested, and I can kind of, reach out to you guys once I get that set up. But it should be within the next week or two. So we'll do a test run and just see how that works out. See if we can have some fun doing that, guys. All right. Then Mako Mill says, I work for a company that provides Norfolk Southern's network IT infrastructure. No industry can escape the advancements of technology. So what if they came up with something that was better than fiber optics? So I don't even know. Well, I don't even know whether at fiber optics could have been 10 years ago. So I'm not in the industry, but I kind of know just a little bit of barely anything about it. But let's say that the fiber optics thing is the newest thing and the best thing that's out there, but there was something else that is better than that, but the industry knows about it and they bought that technology before you even heard about it, before any of you guys heard about it, and they shut that down. That stopped that advancement in technology because they have millions of dollars already invested into this industry. And if they crush that industry, it would kill thousands of jobs. It would shut down cities. It would do all of these things. And the government may know that. And they're like, no, we're not going to run that risk of having that type of devastation done to the country. So they crush that technology, take it out, and it's gone and you never hear about it. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Technology can be stopped from that standpoint. If somebody thinks I'm wrong, I'm dropping the link in here. I want to hear if somebody thinks that if somebody has a difference of opinion or sees how that is wrong. So you guys can see I'm open to hearing different points of view, because you could come up here and say something that just, it's like, wow, I didn't even think about that. And so now what I'm saying, it's like, okay, yeah, I completely understand. So yeah, I see how you can't stop technology. But right now I do think funding can stop technology. All right. So CT says, let's see, Joseph, it can be stopped, but they won't due to greed. So, yeah, I mean, the fishing industry is a business. Businesses are about making money. What most people look at the fishing industry is as what they feel, what they grew up with, what that other thing, not the business side of it. It's like the music business. People think about the music, but not the business. The fishing industry, people are thinking about the fishing and not the industry. So your mindset is different from a person that is industry. That industry mindset is not the same as this person over here. Somebody can have a fishing industry, a fishing company that does not even care about fishing. They care about the business. That product can change. They have an industry. You can put any product in there. That's how CEOs are able to hop from business to business. Then they may not even know about the product specifically, but they know how to run the business. So yeah. So, I mean, what are you guys' thoughts on that? All right. Joseph says, check the timestamp money. I won't be off more than 6 minutes. I saw that one. All right. He says, check me, son. I'm on time and on target. All right. Let's see. X Darkness says, Toyota just designed a motor that runs on ammonia and it's environmentally friendly. How do you know about that? How do you know that there wasn't one that was invented that runs off of something else? And they were like, oh, no, we'll tell you about this ammonia one, but not this other one. All right. Joseph says Strike King has done that a lot. Oh, yeah. Buying out people's products. Okay. I got you. All right. And let's see. Then they found it was cheaper to just fight them in court. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. You hear about people getting crushed whenever they come up with new lure ideas and stuff like that, because they do not have those millions of dollars to fight against the fishing industry. All right. Let's see what else we have, guys. All right. So we have one more that is left, but we're rolling, guys. We're having some fun with it. This is a great interactive show. The link is in the chat. So if anybody else wants to come up and kind of voice their opinion, feel free to come up. I mean, if you have a YouTube channel or something like that, it'll be a good thing for you to come up and get a little exposure too, because we can shout out your channel and, just come up, voice your opinion, and we can keep things rolling. All right, let's see. Where were we at? Oh, yeah, you guys are moving now. All right, so yeah, let me just go through here real quick. So I'm kind of shooting through these comments, just trying to make sure that I don't miss anything where somebody's speaking specifically on the topic, because I see you guys in here kind of networking together and stuff like that. So Big Ivy Fishing says we are still using gas and all the new tech out there. Okay, yeah. So he's saying that, yeah, that those gas industries, they may hear about somebody doing something, buy them out and shut them down. So that tech has been stopped. That advancement has been stopped. Willie J. Allen Jr., he says, Yes, I can hear. Okay, so you guys could hear it when I was changing over. All right. Joseph says it's just another tool because so is a rod, but try fishing without it. All right. DJ Polly says, what is it then? If it's not a tool, then what is it? All right. It's just the better tool than what was there before. So it is another tool, but it's just different from the ones that came out before it. All right. Let's see. Joe Winkler says, it is just another tool, just a better tool to find point. Okay, yeah, to find fish. Okay, to pinpoint fish. All right, Joseph says, let's see, swish, nothing but net. All right, so you guys, so Joseph and Joe are in there agreeing with each other. All right, so William says llama. I don't know what that means, but I don't know what that means. But Mako Mill says, bring Randy on the show so he can defend his viewpoint. So yeah, like I said, Randy is always welcome on the show because, like I said, we're building a community of like-minded guys. We may have differences of opinions on things, but we can see that I know people were thinking they were just going to 100% disagree with what Randy says, but people are finding out that, okay, yeah, I do agree with that. I don't agree with that. I don't want to agree with that, but yeah, I do agree with that. So yeah, so we're getting in here. We're just kind of exposing a few things and just having some fun with it, guys. All right. Willie J. Allen Jr. says he kind of sounds like Jacob Wheeler. I don't remember what y'all were talking about on that one. Eat Squawk says, if it's not a tool, what is it? All right. And then I accidentally put the comment in here that it's just another tool. That was for the poll. All right. William says, fishing is murder. I think murder is murder. Murder happens when something dies. So yeah, murder is murder. I don't know if fishing is murder. Something can be murdered because of fishing, just like driving can cause murder. Yeah, I don't know, William. I don't know what you mean by that one. All right, so X Darkness says, I've seen days crappie fishing using let me see, live with minnows where a school of crappie would come up around the minnow and wouldn't even touch it and then go back down to the brush piles. Oh yeah, that happens all the time. That happens all the time to us. All right, Joseph says 100% Mako, bring him out. Let him speak his piece. Just don't let him voice a one-sided mouthpiece show. Hey, I mean, that's what some of the YouTube and I mean even some of the mainstream TVs are. I mean, you're just getting one side of whatever people feel that they want to put out there. But yeah, but like I said, people are welcome to come on here. I mean, you guys see how we do. We just get on here. There's nothing wrong with having a difference of opinion. Just want to hear the reasoning behind it. And sometimes even after you hear the reasoning behind certain things, it could kind of change your mind, or you may say, nope, that isn't enough for me. So I still think what I think. I am what I am. All right, let's see. X Darkness says, just because you see them doesn't make them bite, even with live bait. Oh, yeah, that is true. That is true. All right. William says, Jacob Wheeler is a tool. And so actually, you are correct. Fishermen themselves are tools to market items. They're part of the fishing industry. So they can be used as a tool to market items. So all of us, if you're out there fishing and you're marketing something, then yeah, you're a tool for that for that industry or for that product. Kind of interesting twist on that. How'd you like that, William? All right, so Gopher Hayes says, I've always preferred, hold on just a second, guys. All right. Here we go. Gopher Hayes says, I've always preferred fishing offshore. I love my electronics. Forward-facing sonar is not another tool. It just gave offshore people a huge advantage. Being able to swim a bait 2 feet above a fish is questionable tech. So yeah, so that's interesting because we were catching we were catching fish offshore prior to live imaging. I know I definitely was. And I remember there is some footage where there were two anglers. If you guys remember this, there were two anglers their boats were bumping against each other. They were fishing offshore. And the guy that ended up staying there was a little swim bait that he threw. I wish I could remember the name of it or remember either one of the anglers' names. But one of them got mad, said, I'm packing up and I'm going home. Those guys were fishing offshore without forward-facing sonar. So we've been fishing offshore without forward facing sonar. So when you're hearing people saying that, yeah, you're catching fish that weren't accessible before, I don't think that is true, because I've been fishing offshore for years. I mean, it's not like I'm the greatest at it. I'm not, fishing on the pro series or anything like that, but I have been able to catch fish offshore for years. And it just seems like, because now with the influx of forward facing sonar, people forget that the anglers were doing that in the past with just sonar itself. And I have some clips that I'm going to play for you guys in just a second. Let me just see where we're at in the chat real quick. All right, so want to give a big shout out to Joe Winkler. He is the sponsor of the show. Special thank you so much to the sponsor of the stream, Joe Winkler. He has hit the channel with the $9.99 super chat. And like I say each week, whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker, is the sponsor of the live stream. So that goes out to Joe Winkler at the moment. All right. And so let's just hop at the poll, look at the poll real quick. It's just another tool. Yes, it is just another tool. We're sitting at 78%. And we have 22% that says, no, it isn't. It isn't just another tool. All right. So yeah, kind of interesting mix on that one right there, guys. All right. So I'm trying to fly through these comments real quick because I see you guys are moving. Wow. You guys are moving pretty fast. Let me find my spot back. And like I said, what I have to do sometimes, guys, during these live streams, once you guys start getting real active in here, what I do is I'll start reading the members of the money team. Those are the members of the channel. You will see they have that badge right next to their name. For instance, you see Joseph in here. He has that 6 next to his name. That means he has been a channel member for over 6 months. You have Joe Winkler in here. He has that 2 next to his name. He's been in here for over 2 months. Big Ivy Fishing has that 2, that badge on there. So shout out to Big Ivy. I know there's some other guys in here, just trying to scroll through there real quick to look. But yeah, so those people with the badges, what I do whenever I get too far behind in the chat, I just start trying to read those to get caught up real quick. But let me just take a look real quick and just see where I was at. All right, here we go. Almost there. Hold on just a second, guys. All right. All right, I see Joseph is always getting active in here in the chat. All right, let's see. All right, there we go. All right, Mako Mill says, I'm with you, brother. Bring him on. All right, yeah, I mean, hey, sometimes we have guests that'll pop in. You never know. And sometimes, like I said, there's sometimes people are watching that you do not know that is watching, especially when we do electronics videos and stuff like that, or live streams. There's people in the industry. You never know when there's an engineer or rep or something like that that is actually watching the chat. All right. X Darkness says, if side imaging is a tool, that same tool is what is used to view it when you add the transducer for live. All right. Edward Cohen, shout out to Edward Cohen. Appreciate you checking into the live stream. He says, I'm pretty indifferent about forward facing sonar. Fishing to me is a puzzle that changes every day that I'm trying to solve. Spotlighting them isn't fishing. My goal isn't to maximize harvest. All right. So let me ask you this. So let's say that there's somebody, say he's 71 years old. I mean, he may get out to fish once every 4, 5, 6 months. And he goes out on the boat with somebody and they don't have forward facing sonar. They go out there and their day is just crap. So they go out there and they don't really do anything. That is his experience. The next time he can go out again is going to be 4, 5, or 6 months. But let's say that he goes out, somebody does have it, and they go out and they have an all right day. They're actually able to go out there. He's showing them this technology in there, all that kind of stuff. To me, it's possible to add another experience to it. But I know that may not be specifically what you're referring to, but sometimes, I think about stuff like that because I have subscribers that contact me and they say things like, hey, I'm having health issues or financial issues. A lot of it will be health issues sometimes where they can't get on a boat, or they haven't been able to go out for a while because they're having issues with their back or their legs, or just going through some things where they really appreciate what we as a whole, the channel and you guys in the comments and everything supporting the channel. They're looking at the comments, they're reading things, and they're kind of living through us. So I kind of think about all of that too. So I do understand about the forward facing thing, but sometimes, yeah, there are some out. So I would say that is kind of an outlier situation, where we don't really think about that often. But there are people that are in different situations. But Edward Cohen says, I'm pretty indifferent about forward facing sonar. Fishing to me is a puzzle that changes every day that I'm trying to solve it. Spotlighting them isn't fishing. So that kind of goes to I guess somebody's response to that, the spotlighting them. I guess they're saying that's kind of like when you shine a deer in headlights and it makes them freeze. So you're actually able to see those fish. But the reaction, the response to that is when you have people say, when somebody says spotlighting them, that's not fishing. And somebody will say, well, hey, just because I see them does not mean I catch them. That's where that comes from. All right. And then Edward Cohen says, my goal isn't to maximize his harvest. His goal, what it sounds like you find pleasure in, is the hunt, is actually going out there and figuring out what it took. Where were those fish at? What did it take to bite them? Did you have to move that bait slow? Were they in the back of the coves? You go out there and you dissect it and you do what it takes from your experience and from your skill level. You go out there to find those fish. So that to you is fishing. But what if someone else, their viewpoint of fishing is like, hey, I can see these fish. They're not biting. I can see them. I'm putting all these lures out there. They're not biting, but I still want to be able to figure out how to get those fish that I can see to bite. And I'm still zeroing because I wasn't able to figure that out. I was fishing. I didn't catch any of them. I was fishing. I was trying. I just wasn't able to figure them out that day. Then the next day you go out and you may figure out a little something. So it can still be looked at as fishing for some. That's what I would think in response to that. All right. So William says 20 to 30% of fish caught in tournaments die after being released. So yeah, I've seen some studies about that. And I've also seen the studies that the tournament industry, people that are in tournaments, they look at themselves as a lot bigger than what they are. The tournament percentage of fishing in regards to the entire bubble of fishing is puny. It's small. So even when you're saying 20 to 30% of that small percentage, how much is that really when you look at the big picture, when you want to specify tournament fishing? Just kind of look that up. There's some info out there about how big is the tournament fishing industry in regards to the entire fishing industry. All right. So Joseph says, let me see. I wouldn't have a problem with Randy as a fisherman. I have a problem with him creating controversy for the sake of lining his pockets. So, but I mean, it's possible that he does have some of those, that his viewpoints, he's wanting to express those more and he's being compensated for it. Because think about it. I mean, you're on YouTube, you're spending time and effort and putting something into it. So you should get some return on that. And to me, he's putting himself out there. I mean, I'm pretty sure there's threats. There's all kind of crazy stuff that starts happening once you put yourself out there like that. And like I said, he may actually believe his viewpoints. I don't think he's necessarily just saying it just for the sake of saying it. All right. Willie J. Allen Jr. says, we don't agree with Randy. So I think that you're talking about this last one, the last poll, that it's just another tool. All right. Let's see. And William says Randy is, I guess that's biased. Yeah, I mean, I believe there's some bias involved in it, but that comes from experience. All right, so CT says MoneyBass, perhaps the most powerful tool to date. Okay, so are you talking about me? I'm just playing. All right, so you're talking about forward facing sonar. All right, so let me see. William says Dave Mercer is a tool. Yes, I believe that any person that is marketing is a tool that is being used to market the product. So I agree with that, but I don't know if you mean it in that way. But yeah, I think anybody, even people that work at a company, you are a tool to produce a product for that company, whatever that is. So that company is using people as a tool. All right. Big Ivy Fishing says, I'm going on the lake and dropping EMP. What is that? No more tools. Not an EMP. Goodness, you're gonna blow up the whole lake. CT says, Harry, are you still in here? All right, shout out to Mako Mills. He says, I get what you're saying, Money. However, if it was just another tool, Why is there so many conversations around using it? Because it is the hottest thing out. When the A-Rig came out, there were so many conversations around it. When Jason Fouts came out and said the things that he said about people not reaching out to him versus him having to go and try to find sponsors, it was conversations all around it. There's always hot topics. There's always things that people are going to want to bring out and talk about. Whenever side imaging came out, whenever the 360 came out, it was like the biggest thing popping. Everybody was talking about that. Whenever a 300 horsepower motor came out. I mean, so whatever is the hot thing at the time, eventually forward facing sonar is going to be the same, is talked about just as much as sonar, as side scan, as these other things that have come along, because there's going to be something that comes along after that. So right now it is just that time of this. It's just that time. Nothing else has came out after that has replaced it yet, even though it's been out for years. It's just taking a minute for somebody to create something, that's bigger than forward facing sonar. Because what about when you have 360 sonar, 360 live sonar? That is no longer forward facing sonar. That is going to be a lot bigger than forward facing sonar, because forward facing sonar is only this way. 360 is going to be everything. So are people still going to say forward facing sonar, or are they going to be talking about 360 live sonar? All right, let's see. A lot of people weren't, let me see, 360 and no one cried. Yeah, I mean, so yeah, when 360 came out, there were people still saying things about 360 too. All right, CT says, let's see, I agree with that. All right, yeah, I gotta watch CT. All right, let's see. Joseph says, MoneyBass, you don't want that smoke. You know I'm all about it. These shrimp boots do that walking. Oh my goodness. All right, Dodie says, I'm interested. Okay, so I don't know what you guys are talking about. I'm trying to go through here and see if I can get caught up real quick. All right, so yeah, we're rolling, guys. We've been rolling for about 2.5 hours. Let me do this. I'm just gonna skip through and read the money teams messages real quick, and then we're gonna go ahead and get to the actually, let me do this. I need to do something real quick. All right, let me adjust something real quick, guys. Give me about 30 seconds. I'm going to adjust something and be right back. All right. Can you guys hear me? All right. So for everybody that is still here that has stayed, we're gonna go over this last point, and then I have some footage that I want to show you guys. So hopefully, some of you people that were in here, will actually, that voted either way, whether you were saying that you were for the sonar and the live imaging, or against the live imaging, and but I have some footage that I want to show you guys. So I wanted to make sure I had that queued up. Hold on just a second. All right, let me hop back into the chat real quick. I'm going to try to get through these and then pull up this last thing. Like I said, hold on 1 second, guys. All right, Joe Winkler says, thinking in the country of Cuba has no internet like we know it. It is limited. All right, Dodie Fishing says, trust me, if I come up with any game-changing bass technologies, I'm keeping my mouth shut. All right, Big Ivy Fisher says, look up the car that can run on water. They killed that guy. Oh my goodness. I did hear about something like that a while back. Tech could be better. The government don't want us to move forward. Yeah, it's like then you start getting into like what I was saying earlier. Just think, what if there was some technology that is out there that if they implemented that technology, it would cause thousands of jobs to be lost, and say there would be some cities that was straight crash. Like what city was that when the car industry left, it was just like a desert. You know what I mean? So just think if there was some technology that caused such a big shift in the nation, I don't think they would just let that technology come out and do that. That to me, that wouldn't even be a wise decision. It's like the technology may be better, but the cost, the overall cost and what it would cause would not be. All right. Joseph says, nice twist. Oh, yeah. You know, I like to add a little twist in there. All right. +1 on that save money. All right. Let's see, guys. Ivy Moore. Shout out to Ivy Moore. What are you doing over there on Facebook? Uh-oh, guys, look who we have checking in. We have the Bass Geek. Uh-oh, let's see what he has to say. He says, I hate the spotlighting argument. That's a BS statement. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. He says, let's see, Bass Geek says, I like catching. Oh, yeah, we all like catching. It's kind of hard out there sometimes, but we like catching. Yeah, so the spotlighting thing, to me, I think when people are saying that, their intention is to kind of take a shot at people that use forward-facing sonar. That's pretty much what it is, because I do not hunt, but I've heard of people say spotlighting when they're talking about deer hunting, and I think that's illegal, right? I think you're literally shining a light on the deer, and it kind of makes them freeze because they can't see what's happening. Is that what that means? Which is a negative connotation. So I think they're just taking it and basically taking a shot at bass fishermen. So I think, you know, that's pretty much what it is. So I don't think they mean it in a positive way when somebody says that. All right, so we have, let's see, Joseph says, Bass Geek, welcome to the party. Oh, yeah, we're having a party over here Saturday night. I mean, we're not out clubbing. We're in the club MoneyBass over here. All right, CT says, Bass Geek, you and me both. It's stupid. It's not the same response. All right, then Cajun Rob shouting out Bass Geek. All right, Bass Geek says, spotlighting is 100% forward-facing sonar is about 5%. Yeah, if that, I mean, sometimes it's tough. It's tough out there. All right, you have some people seconding that motion. All right, let's see. All right, Basket gives some shout outs. Oh my goodness. Come on, Basket. He said Randy is a tree hugger. Hey man, listen. I'm attached to some trees too. I grew up in the country. Let me tell you this. So when I was in the military, there are some places where when I grew up hunting, going through the woods, going to creeks and everything. And it's like over years and years of just going and just exploring through the woods. And you would find certain places where you just like to stop along that trip and just rest or whatever. You have your places where you know you can get your blackberries if you want a snack. There's some crabapple trees. There's all this kind of things that you learn. And there would be like areas where it would be the meetup spot out in the woods where me and my friends, we meet there with our BB guns or whatever. And as we grew older, all of that stuff, you know, would become familiar, even though somebody that does not hang out in the woods like that, it may just look like a bunch of trees to them. But for me, I became attached to that area and to that thing. So I remember when I was in the military, my mom had called me and she was like, yeah, your uncle is cutting down all of these trees to sell them or something like that. And I was like, what is he doing? What do you mean? Like where? I wanted to know what trees they were cutting down. And I remember when I came back on leave and looked, and all of those trees were gone and stuff. And it just kind of, I mean, so I'm just saying that I can relate to some of the, you know, I can relate to the sentiment behind some of that stuff. All right. So CT says, basket, not trees. Hey, man, say the trees, man. All right. Basket says, what's up, Joseph? All right, let's see. Let me get through these chats real quick. Fishing doesn't require forward-facing sonar, but if you want to compete equally with your competitors in tournament fishing, then you need it if you're fishing tournaments where it is allowed. So yeah, I agree with that. Greg Hackney talked about, okay, we have X Dartmouth says Greg Hackney talked about it on Zaldane, how awesome the 360 live was on saltwater. All right, so I think he's talking about the Mega 360 because I haven't heard of a 360 live. Is there actually 360 live that they use in saltwater? All right, I fish, I cook. What is going on? Checking into the live stream. Says there was a conversation surrounding GPS when it was made available to tournament fishing. Oh yeah, anytime I think there's advancement in some type of technology, it's going to be people like, hey man, that's not real. You need to triangulate. You need to look at that rock versus that tree and versus the way the wind blows and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, it's going to be people that want to keep those skills handy. All right, Joseph says at CT. He's only 35 minutes behind the commentary to chat response. All right. Hey, I'm catching up. All right. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Where are we at? Where are we at? All right. Joseph says we have to spool money up on outlawing. All right. Basket says I live in the Appalachian Mountains, deep in them. Hey, so I mean, so you know all about it. You know all about that outdoor life. That sounds like some good living right there, Appalachian Mountains. So you're out there with the mountain lions and all that good stuff. All right, all right. All right, CT says that MoneyBass Randy coined spotlighting to make it personal. Spotlighting is poaching and illegal. Yeah, that's what I figured. Because I mean, I've heard of it before, and I've heard of people say that when they refer to deer hunting. He took his first shot, hence everyone's negative response to him. Yeah, so it definitely had that's what I'm saying. It's definitely a negative connotation. Can I get an amen, people? And Bass Geek, look at this. What is going on in the chat? Bass Geek saying amen. All right, let's see. X Darkman says there is a 360 live used in saltwater, like 500-foot circle. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. I bet that thing is very expensive, especially since it hasn't been brought out in regular bass fishing. All right, Gopher Hayes says chicken hawk, chicken hawk, chicken hawk. Uh-oh, you're trying to summon the hawk. I don't know if it's gonna happen. Chicken hawk is hiding now. You know, I had to stomp him out the other day on Neely Henry. So he's just somewhere licking his wounds. All right, guys. So what we're gonna do is now we are going to look at the number one thing. So we have gone through the list. Let's do a quick recap. So the first thing, number 5 was that it is no different than a trolling motor. Your spotlight, your trolling motor, your talons, your power poles, things like that. And you guys agreed with Randy. Then he said that you have to either adapt or get out. Adapt or get left behind. That's what it was. Adapt or get left behind. Randy disagreed and says you don't have to adapt or get left behind, but you guys disagreed with Randy on that one. So he was 1-1. Then next is you can't stop tech. All right. So you guys disagreed with Randy on that one. You guys said that that is correct. You cannot stop tech. Randy is saying that yes, you can. I agree with Randy on that one. I said you can stop tech, especially if you have the funding to where you can buy that tech before it gets out and shut it down or hide it to where people don't even know that it exists. Now you have stopped that tech. All right. So at that point, you guys disagree with Randy on 2 and agree with him on 1. Then the number 2 on his list is that it's just another tool. You guys disagreed with him on that one, and you said yes, it is just another tool. So at this point, he is 3-1 as far as what people agree with, and I did not agree with that. So I agree with Randy on 2 of his points and disagree on 2. So he's 2 for 2 with me. He's 1 for 3 with the chat. So now let's go ahead and get into the last one. Let me pull it back up. All right, guys. So yes, kind of interesting. All right, let me just take a look real quick. He says, all right, I'm going to bed, y'all. Be cool. All right, big shout out to Bass Geek. Really appreciate you stepping into the live stream and have some fun with us for a few minutes. All right, Joseph says, see you, buddy. All right, let's see what else we have. She says, oh, no, not math. Oh, yeah, I did some math on you. I did some trigger algebra on that one. All right, trigger algebra. Is that what it's called? Algebra, trigonometry. All right. X Darkness says tuna guys use it. Period. Watch Greg Hackney talk about with Zaldane on his. Oh yeah, they're out there. Those fish are like $8,000, $20,000, something like that per fish. So yeah, I can see that. All right. So now here we go, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the last. This is the number 1 reason that he has. Here we go, guys.
A different lure or different type of a reel. It's not another tool. It's much more than another tool. And the number one, most ridiculous, pathetic, borderline stupid comment that I ever hear people talking about defending forward-facing sonar is just because you can see them doesn't mean you can make them bite. Guys, that is absolutely ridiculous right there. First of all, you're seeing fish that you would never see before without that technology. If it wasn't for forward-facing sonar, you wouldn't even know those fish are out there. So from that standpoint there, you're tapping into a segment of the population of fish that have been protected for generations and generations that are no longer protected. Those fish needed to be protected. They needed to have a spot out there where nobody jacked with them. Now they don't have that. They do not have that. They're a target now. And if it was the fact that just because you can see them doesn't mean you can catch them, then again, why is literally 99% of the events in this country not only won with forward-facing sonar, but dominated through the ranks? If you get a check in a tournament anymore, any month of the year, and you're not using forward-facing sonar, you are an outlier. You're an exception to the rule. So when you say that just because you can't see them doesn't mean you can't catch them, you're trying to undermine the impact that forward-facing sonar is having on the fisheries. And you can, just because you see them doesn't mean you can't catch them. Here's the real problem with forward-facing sonar that you don't have with other types of technology. Once you locate, a fish or a group of fish with forward-facing sonar and live scope, you can watch and you can read and you can see the movements and the behavior of that fish based upon different presentations that you make. You may throw a swim bait out there and they may be a little interested, but they're not. Then you pick up a jerk bait, maybe they get a little bit more interested. Then you pick up an underspin. Then you pick up, whatever, different colors, different sizes, and all that type of stuff. You're still locked in on that fish that you never would have seen without technology. You wouldn't even know it's there. And you can stay on that fish until you can figure out the presentation and the technique and the color, the angle, the timing, whatever that it takes to generate that strike. That would be literally impossible to do without any other technology out there. So anyway, guys, every one of these, the excuses I hear every time I do forward-facing sonar, I get one of these 5 out there. One of them comes up. Every one of them, there's not a bit of.
All right, there we go, guys. So that is the number one thing that is the most ridiculous excuse to justify live scope is just because you see them doesn't mean you're gonna catch them. Do you guys agree with that statement or do you disagree with that statement? So the statement is, if someone was to say, hey man, just because I can see them doesn't mean I'm gonna catch them. Is that a true statement or is that a false statement? What do you guys think about that? Because the other alternative is, just because you see them does mean that you're going to catch them. Just because I see them doesn't mean I'm not going to catch that I'm going to catch them. That's the statement that he's saying is ridiculous. But that would mean that if you see them, then you catch them. Because right? Am I saying that wrong, guys? And again, I'll drop the link in case anybody wants to come up and has anything to say about it. So the statement is, just because you can see them doesn't mean you can make them bite. So is that a true statement? Or so Randy's saying that's not a true statement. That is ridiculous to say that. Do you agree that that is a true statement or is that a false statement? All right, so you guys are getting active in there. While you're getting active on that one, let's hop into the chat again and see what you guys have to say. All right, let's see. All right, Joseph says, CT, you are about to go to the fact that those impoundment lakes didn't exist till a few years ago. All right. I see you guys. I see you have something to say. X Dartmouth says, I just go to his channel to read the comments. Yeah, I mean, they have some interesting comments in there. Dodie Fishing says, I knew there was a reason I kept 37 rods with different baits on my deck because you don't know which one they're going to bite, and they may not bite any of those. All right, CT says, I don't think he's ever caught a bedding bass. Hey, man, are you talking about me? I think I may have accidentally caught one before. No, I know what you're talking about. All right, so yeah, so the link is in the chat if anybody else wanted to come up and voice their opinion and thoughts on that one. So just because you can see them doesn't mean you're going to catch them. Is that a true statement or a false statement, or is it ridiculous to say that? All right, let's see. Joseph says, I've seen plenty dudes lose a tournament because they wouldn't stop looking at fish that they'll never catch. And actually, I did a video before I had forward-facing sonar, before I had live imaging, where I explained how you can beat someone that has forward-facing sonar. And the way that I said that you had to beat them, you could was to move. You had to keep moving, because that person with forward facing sonar, they're gonna see those fish and get locked onto it. And that was 100% true for me, because a tournament that I had not long after that, the guy had forward facing sonar. I did not. I had 360, but I knew he had been out there. He told me he was sending me pictures. He was catching 3-pounders and 4-pounders, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is going to be a tough one. So during the tournament, he goes to those spots and he can see those fish. And at the end of the day, I got him. And the reason why he told me, he said, man, he's like, I got to that spot and I could see those same fish down there, the ones I was catching. He was like, I couldn't get them to bite. He said, I spent 4 to 5 hours trying to get those fish to bite. And he could not get them to bite. So it was over for him. It was a wrap, because I was sticking and moving. I did not have forward facing sonar, but I knew that that was the thing that I needed to do, and hope that he just did not connect with those fish. All right, CT says, what is the wording of the poll? So just because you can see them doesn't mean you can make them bite. So when someone says that, so if someone says, hey man, you shouldn't be using forward facing sonar, you're going to catch all the fish. And I'm like, hey, just because I can see them doesn't mean I can make them bite. And they're like, that's ridiculous. So is that a true statement? If someone says just because you can see them doesn't mean you can make them bite, I would say that is a true statement. I mean, we know that for a fact, that if you see hundreds of fish and you can still zero, so it doesn't mean you can make them bite. So I think that that is a true statement. I don't think that's a ridiculous statement. And I have some footage that I'm going to show you guys in just a minute to kind of back that up. All right, let me just look in the chat real quick. All right, we have another contestant backstage that would like to voice their opinion, so I'll bring him up in just a second. All right, X Darkness says that argument is the same when you're trying to bed fish. You can see all. That's how they, yeah, you can see them react and everything. That is correct. All right, Luis Garcia says, Randy, he says, first, the cone size for live is too small for you to find them so easily. Bass are being found by 360 or side view, then forward facing sonar use. That is correct. All right, so his statement, if it weren't for forward facing sonar, you wouldn't know that they were out there. That is false. And I have footage to show you guys. I'm going to show you guys exactly why I would say that I don't agree with that one either. All right, CT says, MoneyBass, I'll be backstage in case no one else wants it. All right, CT is backstage. So I will bring CT up, and then while CT is up, I'll let him voice his opinion, and then I will play that footage for you guys. All right, shout out to I Fish, I Cook. He says that statement is based on his narrow point of view, which is not fact-based. So he's saying that's a weak argument, so you do not agree with that. So right now we have you guys, you're getting active in the poll. You said just because you catch them doesn't mean you can make them bite. 92% of you are saying that is a true statement. I believe that is a true statement. We have 8% that's saying that that is a false statement. So I really would want to hear from somebody who says it is a false statement. So just because you see the fish doesn't mean you can make them bite. How can you make those fish bite? If you're seeing those fish, what is it that you are thinking that makes that a false statement? All right. And we have Luis Garcia says he doesn't have scientific proof that the bass population is negatively affected by forward facing sonar by the amount of tournaments, probably, but not necessarily forward facing sonar. And so remember, guys, us as tournament fishermen, we think of ourselves as more than what is actually there. The tournament fishing industry is puny compared to the overall fishing industry. I'm pretty sure somebody could do a quick search to see what percentage of the fishing industry that tournament fishing is. It could be like 1%, 5% of 100% is puny. It's small. All right. And let's see. David says forward facing sonar versus no forward facing sonar is a big advantage, kind of like rifle hunting versus archery hunting. Both are hard, but rifle hunting is easier. And I 100% agree with that, because I grew up hunting with a BB gun, guys. That's, as a kid, that's what me and my friends, we would get together and we would go hunting with BB guns. Our older uncles and everybody, they would be out hunting with shotguns. To me, the BB gun hunting was it was just way more fun. And when I got older and I started hunting with a rifle, it just took the fun out of it for me, because you don't really miss with a rifle. it's like one shot and you're just done. With at least with a BB gun, you gotta chase it and all that kind of stuff. It just was more excitement. But yes, so I do agree that it is like a what did you say, a rifle versus archery. All right, so without further ado, let's see what our contestant backstage has to say. What is going on? Back once again, we have T. So
My gosh.
so what comment are you wanting to address at this moment?
This latest one, because I thought at number 2 we were going to stop on how over the top biased it could get. I didn't know there was a different level. So I thought I kind of end up spewing all the vitriol I had on number 2, and I should have saved some because I mean, has the man never bed fished, or is he saying that when he's bed fished, he's caught 100% of the fish he's bed fished? Because that statement that he made can only go one of two ways. Either he's never seen one, or he's doing better than Chicken Hawk. He ain't at 50%, he's at 100%.
Oh goodness, not Chicken
And so
Hawk.
I mean, it's like, so I do not understand that, because we have seen, like the footage I know you're going to show, we have seen you guys like out on the water challenges target them and throw the kitchen sink at them, and those fish just sometimes aren't active.
Right.
So,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, does he think? I mean, did someone prank him, take him out in a boat, and then like show him like little bubbles against individual fish's heads that says I'm active? Because, and that's another thing, it's all about fish behavior. Like someone mentioned in the chat earlier about a crappie coming up, looking in the minnow, then going back down the brush pile. It's the same thing, especially like with hybrid bass, sand bass, striper. You have certain species of fish that are curious, like those spotted bass on Lanier. How many times have they come up to take a look at something, check it out and be like, no, I'm good, and swim back? Those fish that are extremely curious might pursue something and have no intention of eating. But it's the perception of the person viewing it. Oh, they're coming after it, so they want it. Then they don't. It's that misconception of how we're reading the fish's response to the bait, right?
Right.
I think that's a big misconception. I think a lot of people view it, they use it, and they don't understand that just that absolute biologic reaction and behavior to whatever you're trying to present to them. And they assume, well, they got spooked by the boat, or they got spooked by, another boat coming through, or the fish, or whatnot, or the bait was moved too quick. A lot of times, a lot of those species are just curious. They just like, okay, I feel it on my lateral line. I picked up on the noise. What's going on over there? Is it a threat even? Is it, could it be easy prey? Yeah. Or is it a threat? They want to scope it out. So especially some of the smarter species, and real quick case in point, thumpers. I don't know if you've heard of thumpers there in Georgia, like the boat thumpers.
No.
Okay. In some areas of the U.S., they have hole thumpers, which is like a rubber mallet on a motorized little contraption here, where the mallet goes around and thumps rhythmically on the bottom of the boat. A noise that we were being taught that will scare fish. It doesn't scare all fish. Hybrid stripers, and even some sand bass, depending on where you're at, depending on the population of the other fish around them, that are in that same line like hybrids and whatnot, will actually go up. They'll be so curious, they'll go up to find out what that noise is. I've been in the boat before with a thumper where you could literally watch on your screen the hybrids and the stripers raise from being dormant off the bottom up to the boat at the sound of that noise. And it's the freakiest thing you've ever seen. And then sometimes you get them to bite? Yeah, because you've already got them wired up. They're very high-strung fish. So you call them up, put something in front of their face, wiggle it just right, and you're more apt to catch them than not. So, but it depends on the behavior of the fish, as you've seen. Whether it's spotted bass, they won't think that way. They may come check it out and go back to the boys and be like, want no part of that. And the rest of them may shut down.
Right.
So just based upon that experience alone, it's all about it's all about that. Not every fish is created equal as far as, the species are concerned. They're not going to have the same personality. They're not going to have the same reaction. And that has as much to do with it as anything else, let alone if they're active. So just based on what we know, the science that we know about fish behavior, that statement of him thinking, hey, if you see him, you catch him. No. Will you find more with it? Yes. You'll absolutely find more. Does that mean they're going to be active? It ain't that easy.
Right.
And then him to go on saying the whole part about all the tournaments that are being won with it in the boat. Just because somebody has it in the boat and won doesn't mean it really had that much of an effect. I don't know what kind of jump that is. Talk about jumping the shark. How do you get there from here? I mean, what's the percentage of the anglers that have it in the boat at the professional level? Like 100%?
Right.
So, I mean, he's like, well, if you don't have it, you're an outlier. Yeah, because you don't exist. So, I mean, somebody can have it turned off all day, still have it in the freaking boat and win. And, it's because he had it, I guess, mounted. I mean, it's because those sponsors are going to shove that technology from whatever brand they are, whatever unit is applicable to that brand down their throats, and they're going to have it on their boat regardless.
Right.
So anyway, there's 100 things wrong with that one. Like I said, I'm sorry. I saw.
All right, let me play some. Let me find a part in here. I want to see if you agree with something he said. Hold on just a second.
Just because you can't.
Hold on, let me pull this back up. Let me change the. All right, let's see. Can you hear this? Okay.
See him doesn't mean you can't catch
Yes,
him.
sir.
You're trying to undermine the impact that forward-facing sonar is having on the fisheries. And you can, just because you see them doesn't mean you can't catch them. Here's the real problem with forward-facing sonar that you don't have with other types of technology.
All right, so here we go. I think he's about to say it right now. I want to see who agrees. Listen to what he says right now. And I want, if you agree with this part of his statement, then put agree in the comments.
Once you locate, a fish or a group of fish with forward-facing sonar and live scope, you can watch and you can read and you can see the movements and the behavior of that fish based upon different presentations that you make. You may throw a swim bait out there and they may be a little interested, but they're not. Then you pick up a jerk bait, maybe they get a little bit more interested. Then you pick up an underspin. Then you pick up, whatever, different colors, different sizes, and all that type of stuff. You're still locked in on that fish that you never would have seen without technology. You wouldn't even know it's there. And you can stay on that fish until you can figure out the presentation and the technique and the color, the angle, the timing, whatever that it takes to generate that strike. That would be literally impossible to do without any other technology out there.
All right, so who agrees with that? He explained in detail what you can do with that forward-facing sonar, and then he said that, let me just play that last statement real quick just to make sure I get the wording right.
Literally impossible to do without any other technology.
All right, literally impossible to do without any other technology. Do you agree with those things that he just named?
His argument defeated his own argument, because here's the trick. First, he says, okay, well, you can pick up every bait in the boat and figure it out till you dial it in. Well, by definition, if you're having to pick up every bait in your boat, they're not active. Into discussion. So that defeats his whole argument right there. That's where the bias is getting in the way, because he literally took out the smallest bird shot he could get, got his target about 6 inches away, and blew it to crap. So that's number one. Then number two, what was the last part of that? There was something there on the last part of that a part B of that argument I wanted to address.
And the technique and the color, the angle, the timing, whatever.
Oh, I remember.
It takes to generate that strike. That would.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember. Okay, so he's assuming by that not only are you going to be able to figure it out, which is not true, But again, he's going into what I just talked about of he's assuming what he's seeing, the fish's reaction to that bait, he's assuming what it is. Like I just talked about, he's assuming that he knows how that fish react to that bait means A, B, or C.
Okay.
So,
all right. So look, so let me play it again. Let me rephrase the question to make it more clear. He says that it is literally impossible to do what he's naming with. Okay. So I want you to listen to what he's saying. This can only be done with forward-facing sonar, and that's why it's forward-facing sonar. And so to me, this is the number one legitimate reason. Well, legitimate with quotes. Reason that people have against forward-facing sonar because of what you can do with it. So listen to what he says
know
again.
it's there.
Hold on.
And you can stay on, you pick up, whatever, different colors out there, and they may be a little interested, but they're not fish based upon different presentations that you can watch and you can read and you can see the movie. You can.
Okay, so this right here, can this be done with any other technology that we use? Listen to what he says carefully. That's the question. Is it yes, it can, or no, it's not? This is forward-facing sonar, because this is the number one reason that I've heard that people were originally saying why forward-facing sonar was like the demon. Is this right here?
Watch and you can read and you can see the movements and the behavior of that fish based upon different presentations that you make. You may throw a swim bait out there and they may be a little interested, but they're not. Then you pick up a jerk bait, maybe they get a little bit more interested. Then you pick up an underspin. Then you pick up, whatever, different colors, different sizes, and all that type of stuff. You're still locked in on that fish that you never would have seen without technology. You wouldn't even know it's there. And you can stay on that fish until you can figure out the presentation and the technique and the color, the angle, the timing, whatever that it takes to generate that strike that would be literally impossible to do without any other technology out there.
All right. So you would agree with that, right? With what he just said, that it's literally what he just named is impossible to do with any other type of technology, right?
Yeah, his argument is flawed. The first,
all right.
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
So you agree with that forward-facing sonar is the technology? Okay.
It's impossible to do with any other technology, but it's also irrelevant at the same time because it's impractical. I mean, you got 27 hours in a day.
All right. So hold on. So let me just pull something up. So this is what I wanted to show you guys. All right. So he said that's impossible to do with any other technology. Hold on just a second. Because I know this guy. Let's see. Let me make sure I get it queued up correctly. Because I know a guy. All right, here we go. All right, let me share this screen again. Hold on. Let me see. Pulled up the wrong screen. Hold on. Just bear with me, guys. Bear with me. Now, this footage is something that you'll want to see. So don't go anywhere. All right. It's a live show. It's a live show, guys. I'm trying. I got to stop the screen, got to reshare the screen, and I have to make sure I get the correct video file. That's what happened. I pulled up the wrong one just a second ago. All right, here we go. All right, hold on 1 second because now I have to queue it back up. I lost the location where it was at. But luckily I wrote it down. 8:30. Hold on 1 second, guys. All right, here we go. All right, so this footage right here. All right, so let me unmute it. You guys can hear this, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, now take a look at this, and you guys might know this guy right here. Let's see what he has to say now.
Like catching fish on.
And let me just explain. He does look a little different, just a little different than what he does right now, because this footage was about 2 or 3 years ago. Let me see if I can. Yeah, so this is some old, but this is before forward-facing sonar. I think it was out, but I had never used it. I'd never even seen it at this point.
Drop shot. Just like playing a video game. See him on the screen, drop right down to him. You can see what you're about to catch.
Now this is
Nice little school down there. All right, let's get down there and get another one. Right. Back
so
on
this
the
is
team.
sonar.
There goes some sitting right outside that brush pile, so I'm pretty sure there's some on the inside that we're going on down scan, so you can see 3 of them sitting right up there at the top, and then there's some down there in that brush pile. All right, go ahead and stop and drop.
All right, so you heard me, stop and drop. So what I did is I drove over those fish. So now what you're seeing on here, these fish right here, you can see these fish at the top of that brush pile, right?
Yep.
You can see these fish down here in this brush pile. There's fish down there too. All right, so there's going to be fish to the left that you don't see with sonar. You're not going to see those fish. Now this is history, so this is not live forward facing sonar right here. But this window right here, that RTS window, that's live. This is sonar. This is not forward facing sonar. This is just regular sonar. That's live right there. So for me, what I was able to do, I was able to use this to fish. Hold on just a second. Let me just pull up this next one and just show you guys, because what you heard him say is that you can watch the fish behavior. You can see which way they're going. You can see how they're reacting to the bait. You can tell basically when they're going to bite it, all that kind of stuff, right? And he said it's literally the only technology that you can use to do that. Correct?
Yep.
All right. So now let me just show you guys. All right, let me share my screen. All right. So now this right here on the screen, let's see, 2D sonar. I can see the fish. And remember, I had never even seen forward facing sonar when I made this video. I can see the fish. I can see the structure and cover. I can definitely see the fish behavior, and I can see definitely use it to catch more fish. All right, so now let's listen to what I'm doing. There is like a tree or some brush pile or something down there. So when I drop this down there, watch that. Well, you can't see him now, he's not on the screen. But look, so you can see my bait going down. You see that line right there? Okay. Live. And then it went down there into that red stuff. And that's the brush pile down there. See, there's the fish again. So watch. You see this line coming up right here? Yep. See, that fish sees it. See him going down? Okay. See him going, he's chasing my bait now. He's chasing it fast. That one's probably going to hit it because he chased it fast. All right, so what do you think about that? So what he just said is literally the only technology that can do what you just saw me do is forward-facing sonar, right? And most people would agree with that, because I don't think most people know how to do or know that you can do what I just did with sonar.
I agree. I absolutely agree with you. Here's the trick. He is talking about, in my opinion, he's talking about, and I don't want to venture into his mind, but if I had to take a guess, I think he's probably talking about comparatively speaking. You are absolutely correct that a large percentage of anglers do not know how to max out their electronics. I could not agree with that more. It's an absolute finite science, and I think you have yours dialed in better than probably 90% of the fishing population, if I were to take a guess. So comparatively speaking, what he says is true. Is it impossible? No. And I say that too because let's face it, how many of these guys have been using flashers ice fishing for years and can watch walleye, crappie, bluegill, whatever, burbots, the whole 9 yards come up to their dadgum baits like they're going to strike them, right? I mean, that's the thing. So, I mean, unless he's been on the rock more than I think, and I don't think so, then he probably knows that exists, but I think he's probably talking about comparatively and in the detail. I think we can both agree that, you know, the term game changing is thrown around and used everywhere, but this is really game changing. You know, this really does set all other technology aside. Remember back when side scan was a thing, and I remember all game warden boats were being fixed with it for boating accidents to find, you know, folks that were not floating. And I mean, like, so I mean that's it. So I mean, so I get both sides. Yeah, I think he probably meant comparatively speaking, but at the same time, man, it's going to be hard to put your skills in what you do with your electronics. And correct me if I'm wrong, but it might have something to do with a little bit of your background and your history under a different bit of employment. You got a little bit of edge on other people, sir. Don't think that escaped me. I'll call you out on that right here, right now.
So
So
let's be specific. Are you saying that my history of running radars in the Air Force is that what you're referring to?
maybe a little bit, maybe just a little bit on frequency, on bounce, on all that. Remember, I've got a close family member that's a triple degree electrical engineer that got to play with those kind of toys and help develop a lot of the toys you got to play with. So yeah, you got a little something there. I know that. So I mean, so yeah, it really is. It's a whole different ball game now. So you understand the not just how to use it, but the little literal language and how it works. And most people do not have that. So I think there's the difference there. You could make subpar equipment sing. I've got no doubt about that. So I see both sides there. I have to say that yeah, it's a game changer and there's nothing else like it. But as far as fish behavior and how they react to it, no. And did you see my challenge down there earlier in chat? Did you see that?
No, what was it?
Here I'm gonna say first and foremost on this challenge I'm gonna issue right here in front of everybody.
Oh my goodness.
Laying down the gauntlet.
What you got?
You get Randy on. You moderate. I will be a good boy. I promise I will be a good boy.
I'm not doing it. Look,
No, I will be. Listen, no, I will be a good boy because listen, I think no, listen, I will be a good boy because I think that based on what I've heard out of him tonight and everything we've heard out of him in the past, I think it could be very interesting. And think about something, my hustling friend. Think about something. You get him on, me on, we all three backlink. Come on now. I know there's something inside of you chomping at the bit. Saying, okay, that ain't a bad idea. I know that's in you. So
yes,
all you got to do is say yes and reach out to him. And I will put in writing, I will be a good boy.
I'll think about it. I have to think about it.
I won't call any names. I won't kick him in the butt.
Oh my goodness.
I will use only scientific arguments because that's all I'll need. And I will take a couple of volumes before to make sure I'm good and calm. And I think it could be a party. I think it'd be a win-win-win. Just saying.
All right, we'll see. Man, this has been a good one.
Yeah,
I've been rolling for 3 hours and 21 minutes, and some people have stayed the entire time.
Oh, somebody owes me money.
Yeah, I see. Look, Joseph he put in there 3 hours and 15 minutes of Wapner.
Yeah, I don't know if you were seeing his Rain Man. He was making Rain Man references coming into this thing about 15 minutes to Wapner, 15 minutes to Wapner. And I don't know. I don't know if I'm not well. I don't know if you got the other 80s TV reference he threw down there, but
which one was it? I might have missed it.
The Corky comment was messed up. Joseph, you wrong for that. I'm sure you are wrong for that. And anybody else who got that, you are wrong for that.
Yeah, I didn't get that one.
I'll tell you off screen later what that was about because it was pretty messed up.
Gotcha. It was funny,
but it was messed up.
All right. And so Joseph, this is something that I have mentioned before to people. So tell me because this is the other thing. Chicken Hawk has LiveScope now, right? With a big 12-inch Garmin screen on the front. So let me see. So Joseph says, so tell me one thing, Batman. How does you having forward-facing sonar affect me catching fish? And this is what I used to say to Chicken Hawk all the time. Like, if you're coming in with 15 to 25 20-pound bags, right? That, I mean, your skill level. Hey, you're out there. You remember his thing was, hey, I'm natural. I'm going off of old school skill. This was Chicken Hawk's thing. So I was like, well, let's say you're doing that. You're doing that on Monday. You're doing it on Wednesday. You do it next Tuesday. You do it on Friday. And now I go and buy me a forward-facing sonar unit, and I show up on the lake, on the same lake. And now you catch 3 pounds, and now you catch 7 pounds, and now you 0. And how did me getting forward-facing sonar make you catch less fish? How did your bag go down just because I showed up? And now I have it. So that was the thing that was always funny to me. So that's kind of what Joseph's statement reminds me
Just
of.
getting in the head. That's all it is get in the head. And that's why a lot of guys, I think, are turned off to it because they can't afford it. And I get that. I mean, I thought for about before my money woes, I thought for about 5 minutes about getting one of the ones you can use, different docks and whatnot, where you could actually set up for, a shore rig, have the screen mounted up on top of an ice chest, have your batteries on top of the ice chest, everything portable. I thought about it for about 5 minutes and I added up everything and said, nope.
Right.
I can't throw $4,000 at that. I just cannot. Sorry. And, but I thought about it. So, I mean, it's just about people not being able to get their hands on it getting in their heads. And I think what it does is I think it replaces a little bit of time, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think you can locate things quicker and cross things off your list of what you assume the pattern is going to be. If you haven't had much of a chance to pre-fish, you're getting out there late. Let's say you normally pre-fish for a tournament 2 or 3 times. You only got once. It helps you make up some of that time as far as finding locations and the kind of how they're sitting up on structure. Still didn't tell you if they're active. Still didn't tell you how to catch them.
Mm-hmm.
So
yep.
I think it's a useful tool to the chagrin of our friend, Mr. Randy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, all right, man. Let me go ahead and drop you down. I'm be on for just a few more minutes and time to roll out. I've been rolling for 3 hours and 25 minutes.
Called it. All right. Brother.
All right. Appreciate you, CT.
See you.
All right. All right, guys. Man, so this has been an interesting one for me. I mean, I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed the feedback, hearing the pros and the cons, the fors and against. And for me, out of the 5 items that we listed, I agree with him on 2 and I disagree on 3. And it looks like the majority of you agreed on 1 and disagreed on 4 of the items that are on there. The main one for me was the what was it about the technology? You can't stop technology. Yeah, so that was a good one too. But yeah, really want to give a big shout out to Randy Blaukat for that post because it sparked a conversation, so we had some fun with it. And also want to give a big shout out to Joe Winkler. He is the current sponsor of the live stream. And basically what that is for anybody just tuning in, each week, whenever we do our live streams, whoever gives the largest super chat, super sticker during the live stream is the sponsor of that live stream, because this channel is supported by you guys, the viewers of the channel. And looks like we're working on getting a few, 1 or 2 sponsors that may come in and support the channel. And we do have some people that support the live streams whenever we do the On the Water challenge. But really appreciate anybody that finds value in the channel and the topics that we do each week, and contribute to the channel. Really appreciate it. And it does not go, overlooked. Like I said, I really do appreciate it. And the members of the Money Team, which are the people that you see that have the badges right next to their name. So really appreciate that. And I guess before we leave, I have one more person that wants to say a little something. So let me see. Are you able to cam up, or you need to cam? Because I think I know who this is. So let's see. Hold on. All right, there we go. All right. So can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you all right. You got me?
Oh, I got you. So how's everything going?
Oh, that's sweet, man. As good as we can have it.
All right. So what's on your mind? What is on your mind?
So let me throw this out there.
Uh-huh.
Fishing is fishing. Whether you fish where you want to, where what you have. If you bank fishing, kayak fishing, boat fishing, right? All of us have a different level of income. But the big burr under the saddle is the separation of a tournament angling condition from fishing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I have to pay an entry fee. I have to have the equipment. What I choose to invest in money to compete in that event, right? And that's where, if you're going to compete for money, you would be foolish not to have every tool you could afford that is legal to use. That would be like taking a pro boxing fight and going in with one arm tied behind your back. You'd better be able to back it up.
Right.
You know, that forward facing sonar can help you, but it doesn't do all the work. It's a tool. But if you, I don't tournament fish at a high level because it sucks away a lot of the things that I enjoy. I've been in tournaments where I paid money to fish, and if I get on a bite, I quit forgetting about the damn tournament. If I'm enjoying my fishing, I can enter another tournament. I'm not going to give up my enjoyment of the fishing if I know I don't have a chance at winning that.
Right.
So being competitive and moving up the ranks in pro bass fishing is not something ever had an interest in. So I treat it as such. But if
Right.
I was going to try out to be on the pro circuit in any way, shape, or form, even to do make a career out of the YouTube business and the fishing industry, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just like you said earlier, there's a lot of stuff you don't see behind the scenes. You would be a fool not to have every tool available at your disposal if your intent with the fishing isn't just to enjoy fishing, it's to make money.
Gotcha. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I agree with that. I mean, because the question, and I'll probably do a live stream about this. The question that I have been asking people recently, whenever I hear them saying they're going to enter a tournament or do a trail or do anything like that, what is your reason for fishing? Like, if you're fishing that tournament, like, why? And I hear some people will say, well, yeah, I mean, it's a $20,000 first place prize. And if you're fishing against 200 other boats and you're really fishing for the money, the chances of you winning that are slim. I mean, it's kind of like some people say it's like gambling. But whenever, to me, when I hear people say, yeah, I'm doing it for the money, I tournament fish for the money. And then when you go back and you add up for the past year, 2 years, 3 years, all of your expenses and how much you've won, and that number ends up being negative, you're not fishing for the money. You can say that, but if you were going to your job, you're going to your job for the money. But if every year after year you looked and you saw that you were actually losing money, you were not making a paycheck. You were actually paying something, and you were losing money every time, every year. You would not stay at that job. You would not say you're doing that job for money. You're still doing it, but you're doing it for something else. So there's a lot of people who think they're actually fishing for money, but that's not the real reason that they're fishing, because they're not making money when they're doing it. And so that enjoyment thing that you were referring to, I'm finding that whenever I start asking people that, and then they say they're fishing for money, and I start asking them a few more questions, they realize that's not what they're fishing. They're fishing for more of what you just said.
Well, I have several uses where I use my live sonar as well as my side scan that don't have anything to do at all with catching a fish.
Mm-hmm.
So like I fish a lot of shallow water, and I'm not talking like it just ain't deep; it's shallow. So when I'm rolling into a place where I'm not there all the time, but I know it's going to be skinny to get into, right?
Right.
Those sandbars move, right? And I'm talking a place where you can't even once you commit to going in, you can't turn your boat around, you can't come off plane, you are committed, right?
Right.
And if you clip a sandbar coming in, you might lose the whole lower unit. So I'll pull up to some of those areas, drop the trolling motor, do a circle a little bit, and scan for logs. I scan for where the sandbar is at, and I scan for where that center of that channel is. Not because I'm going to catch a fish there. And when I get back there, I might be fishing in 8 or 10 inches of water. I can see their back. I don't need live sonar. But
Right.
that live sonar can help me safely get into places where if I didn't, that would be like asking me to go on the water. The places I go fishing, ask me to go on the water without a life jacket or a fire extinguisher. Now, I've used both on a boat before, but I don't boat like most people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I got winches and come alongs on the boat chainsaw, like that is standard gear going where I'm at.
Okay, you're out there hanging with
Right.
Keith Poche. Okay.
So the whole thing about this whole, it catches the fish, it's going to decimate. How the hell is it going to decimate the entire population of fish that's existed? No one knew they was there, buddy. Them lakes ain't been there but about 80 years.
Right.
Come on now. You
Yeah.
know, like you gotta separate some of this stuff from the honesty and what you're doing for the living. You know, have a real discussion.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like why I was calling you out earlier, right? I ain't calling you out about how many fish you did or didn't catch. Everybody has their day, right?
Right.
What I was
Yeah.
getting at is you had it on your boat. Chicken Hawk ain't gonna say nothing. He got it on his boat.
That's
But
right.
the amount of difference it made to y'all that day under those conditions, whether you had it or not, it was just something for you to look at and feel comfortable with. It wasn't changing the fish bite. It wasn't changing the baits or the pattern.
Right. Exactly.
But it
Yeah.
sure made you feel better that you went out with it, didn't it?
Well, actually, on this lake, on this lake, I could have just turned it off because I really only, and I know you watched it. So right before I went to the area where I started catching fish, I had turned it on. Well, it was on, but I actually turned and just started looking at a ledge and saw that it wasn't going to help me, so I just stopped using it again. So up
It gives
until
you
that,
something to do, right? It's
oh
like
yeah,
I give you
yeah,
hell about using the net. I'm one of those guys. I ain't going to stop to take the time to grab that net unless he's going to break lines and poles if I even chance it.
gotcha. Yeah.
You know how it is, man. It's tools.
Yeah, I mean that's the way I see it.
What's,
And
it's like
that was,
in my world where I go, money, all of you guys is running the power poles in the back. That'd be $5,000 in the first day I'm going somewhere that I'm losing because I'm going places where them things ain't going to clear. My console, that boat was built so that my console is 1.5 inches higher than my motor at maximum jack plate. So if that console hits, my boat sticks.
yeah,
If that console clears, I'm running. You see where I'm going with that? That's why it ain't that I couldn't afford the power poles. Them power poles are a hazard unless I can lay them down. That's why I have spud poles. They ain't sticking up all the time like two antennas in the back looking to grab a tree. Yeah,
gotcha.
and you know what I'm saying. There's people
Right.
that when you have to get underneath something, you got to sink the boat to get where you're going. Low clearances, But like, okay, power poles are a huge advancement in technology. Yeah, I also got 2 bricks on my boat with 25 feet of rope on each one. You throw that brick off the side, guess what? It stops just like a power pole.
Gotcha.
It just ain't so convenient.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I've been there before using a actual anchor in a rope just to
Right.
stay in place and fish. Yeah.
So it's the same thing. It's just we keep going in circles and circles, and at the end of the day, it's a tool that they either have to, for professional events, they have to make a rule that says they're allowed or not allowed, and then that's part of what's allowed in that tournament series.
Right.
But the technology, it's out there. The cat's out of the bag. But let's say you ban it for fishing crappie. Okay, that's fine. But they're still going to use it offshore. It's still in use by the Navy. The technology, you know what I'm saying? So
Right.
it's gonna get further and better, right? And at some point, if they said, okay, if you can show live proof that this has affected the fish's well-being as opposed to your feelings, then you have an argument to stand on. Till then, you just got hurt feelings.
Right. Yeah. 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 I mean, it's kind of wild out there. I mean, it's a lot of different thoughts and opinions on it. And I knew it would be kind of an interesting topic once I saw it.
Oh, you got 4 or 5 other episodes just off of this one. It's coming.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'll be ready for them. I'll keep researching. Yeah, and you guys just keep sending me stuff. I mean, you guys are sending me stuff in my sending me messages about, hey, what have you heard about this topic or that topic? And hey, I'll bring them up and we can talk about them. We'll have some fun with it. Looks like he dropped off. But yeah, so I was about to end it anyway, guys. We have been running for 3 hours and 37 minutes. And some of you guys have stayed along for the entire ride. Really, really appreciate it. And appreciate everybody for, tuning in, hitting the like button. Oh my goodness, the likes are looking great. I really appreciate it. I mean, you guys really like this channel. I mean, like this this live stream. And of course, I have to give a big shout out to the sponsor of the show. Very, very big and strong supporter of the channel, always chiming in. Let me just bring it back up to put some respect on his name. Shout out to Joe Winkler. All right, guys, really, really appreciate it. Make sure you guys drop some comments and please send this channel out to 2 people that you think will be interested in these topics and like the interactive style that we're doing. Just trying to change things up a little bit from the norm that you guys see out there. You know, just add a little excitement to it and have some fun with it. All right, so going to go ahead and close this out, but hey, I will be back. I have some time on my hands, guys, so keep sending those topics over to me. If you see another video or something like that that you want to review or go over, we can do that. We can do that. We may not run as long as we did this time. Just wanted to kind of dissect it. You guys were showing some interest, always active in the comments, so you know we kept going. And Joe Winkler, he came and was like, hey, you know, I see some value in this. I'm having some fun with this one tonight. Let me hit you up with the $10 super chat. Really, really appreciate it. All right, guys, I'm going to head on out. I really appreciate it, and I will see you guys on the next.